darkest night, the newest mode in the zombie universe is here. This time, the rules are different. No more parachuting, as players will be placed at random locations on the map when the match begins, and there is no single winner. Players must work with their teammates to spend one long night in the match and stay alive until the sun comes up. Waves and waves of zombies will spawn during each of the 3 foggy periods at night, and supplies should only be scavenged when the fog fades. The main objective is not to defeat other players, though this doesn't mean they are harmless. Players may need to work with other teams when necessary, but should also watch their backs in case the Fragile Alliance goes south. This will be a unique experience for every player involved. This new mode also comes with a passive skill for every player. Understanding these skills will be the key to staying alive in this long night. Can you ride out the night?
Play PUBG Mobile for free.
First game was pretty good, and
there's
LT.
IK.
It's quite easy thing to do, but there's actually going to be a bit of a fight here, and it's going to be LTK. It's not best for them, and talk about best for them, MBZ rather, slaughter RBK. Does manage to get out of here, but they're going to get pushed on by Rip and Squad, and it's going to be a wipe.
His team, and here they go to try and clean things up. Zeus is going to be going forward. He does manage to get one down, but he's just running out of time, and that is going to be it for UN, out in 3rd place. So the sneaky snake from UT Boom will finally drop at the end there, and he knew it was going to be hard for him to get the outplay, but his position.
Yeah, and hopefully this does work out for them. We are going to be seeing Lost Kev going for the shots from LTK, and LTK can't multiple angles here, so let's be careful now. So resource management, we do have TRD, so good rotation here.
Zero is going to get knocked, though. That's great by Mojrim from LTK. He actually manages to eliminate him. That's very rare that we see that happen. A member of TRD actually taken out of the picture here. Plays. Oh boy.
Zero has got it, but look at the
knocked, and meanwhile Riot as well, engaged back and forth. The MBZ members are coming in hot.
Oh, he doesn't die, but he's going to have to try and go in for the knock, and he does that, but in return he's going to get killed. And
3 teams standing. Molotov out.
That was so close to be in the end, but the spray comes in.
Down though, so they're going to have to turn things around here. And it looks like it's Kevin opening up some fire, and that will be the end of it. TRD with another chicken dinner. See if they're going to get close enough to prime it here as they're fighting across the road.
Oh, he's
Heavy
got
fire,
them.
they've got it all!
They're going to be running through the blue, but they're going to be facing fire.
Yeah, looks like SWAT 69 managed to catch him out on that rotation, and all of them finding these big fights, and Zero just keeps on lighting them up here.
Yeah, and somehow they're alive right now, and they're looking to try and take it down. A couple of these members, RBK, maybe able to come out on top. Hugo has got level 3, but it's not going to be enough. If Car explodes, he goes
slow as a like, as quiet as a mouse if he can. Faker moving out. Riot dropped down to his knees. Zero knows this is his time, but he's gonna get lit up, and that's it.
Faker from right there, and he
Yeah,
throws it, going to
69.
push.
Rosa, he manages to get the down, so it looks like it's going to be L&D that might have bitten off a bit more than they could chew. Get the revive up. Oh, he has to move away at the last second, but he still manages to get a knockdown. Wrap around, he doesn't get there in time, and Moomin falls. This might be the last man standing for his own team as he does get Aris down.
Coming under fire from it. TRD.
Yeah, it was a matter of time they were going to get mowed down. TRD, they just don't have to move for sure. IK does find it down onto Zero. Headshot coming in as well. He should get fired down in just a minute, trying to dodge around, but finally he manages to get a finisher off in a maimed. Bonemer, he's going to get knocked as well. So all of a sudden H1 gets blown. It looks like a test comes up and he takes the kill. 2 teams remaining. It's down to TRD and AM. There he is, Molotov coming out, lights him up through the smoke if he can, but he gets headshot! Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to the PUBG Mobile Club Open. Of course, my name is Devin Pirates Young. I am joined by Tom Freeman Pickering.
That is me, and my name, easy to say, apart from the Wee Free Man. That's a little bit complicated.
No, but that's why I roll it in. Like, I get the Tom, like, real nice and long there. You get, like, at least 5 or 6 or maybe even 7 if I'm feeling spicy O's. But, you know, like, it's enough about us. Let's talk a little bit about the teams that are going to be competing today. We, of course, are covering the ME region, so that is the Middle East. Yeah. And it is day 5 of the group stages. After Day 6, after tomorrow's games, we will be whittling our 32 teams down only to 24 for the semifinals, and we have seen a lot of standout performances, especially in the teams that are going to be showcasing today in Groups A and D.
Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to Mr. Reef on 7T Reef. That's going to be a spicy time for them.
Now, as a reminder, this is how the tournament rules are laid out. Placement is all important, with a grand total of 30 points being awarded to the winner chicken dinner. Second place gets 22, and so on down the line. Whereas kills, frags, they will only get you a single point, but that's not stopped a lot of our top squads from racking them up in insane fashion.
Yeah, I mean, if you just sort of throw back to the game on Erangel, which was last Sunday, if I remember correctly, Reef managed to get 16 kills by himself.
Yeah, and then he was like, you know, like a 1v7 team situation. He had a good spot, like trying to survive. I can't wait to see Reef and the rest of 7T take to the field again. But here are our groups. We will be seeing Group A and Group D face off against one another, and it will be in Group A, Team Rush to Crush, Executor, IQM, VK Gamers. There is 7 Reef team. They are the second place team currently. ViaWar, Just Killer, and Kurd Squad. And then over in Group D.
Yeah, we're going to have KA Squad, F16, Nox, 963, the potential underdogs that we're all rooting for.
And the rest.
And the rest there.
Yeah.
Well, let's get on. So, obviously, this is going to be Day A versus D on Day 2 this week. Week 2.
We called it Day 5. It is Day 2 of Week 2, but, you know, if you just add all those numbers up, you get it. We will be seeing a Sanhok match, Vikendi, and then double Erangel. No Miramar in Week 2. And the rough start times, too, depending on how fast the teams are able to eliminate one another.
Yeah, and I think those Erangel ones are going to be where 7T are going to be more strong. They have done pretty well in the other games, but not nearly as well as on those games, from what I remember. So, yeah, you can obviously see these guys. So make sure, if you don't want to see Sanhok and Vikendi, make sure to come back for the last 2 maps. Although Sanhok and Vikendi have had some surprising battles.
Oh, yeah. No, we've seen some teams really take it to them. And I think yesterday was important because we saw TRD take the chicken dinner on both those maps, and we didn't see it just from looking at, you know, the previous day's matches, who got the win there on the double Erangel matches, but they were second place twice, and they never dropped below 10 kills. So TRD, that is an insane squad, and this is why we talk up 7 Reef team, because they're second place, and they're like 70 points behind. That's like, it's crazy how big a divide there is, and that's with the even number of matches played.
Yeah, I mean, we called it last week when we saw that the 7 Reef team had obviously overtaken the Real Deal, but on the first match they played, where they were then 1 map ahead of the Real Deal, they were still, went ahead on points. It was insane to see, and now obviously the Real Deal do have 266 points, but when we actually look at the whole global standings of the regions and stuff, I do know there's a couple of teams who have overtaken them. I think there's one in the wildcard group which have over 300
That's also
points.
playing additional games today, right? So I had to think on that.
So I think we may well see TRD jump ahead, but so good 7T. But you know what? We do also have a couple of teams here, like KA Squad, who could actually jump up the leaderboard. They're in 13th spot at the moment, doing pretty well.
Yeah, they certainly are, and I think L&D is another team worth mentioning. They were one of the teams that actually knocked out TRD into second place on one of the Erangel matches. They had favorable numbers in a 3v1 situation, but you know, Faker definitely stepped up to the plate. They were able to deliver some big kills. 69 SWAT also have had their time in the sun. And with only 6 matches played, remember, they didn't load into 2 of their matches. You got to wonder where they would be placed at the moment. And here, this is our bubble. This is down towards the bottom where these teams, all they need to do is make it into the top 24 to survive. But they are clinging to the edge right now. And there's a couple of teams that have only just started to rack up those points. I'm looking at RBK 313 especially.
Yeah, and I mean, for going down to the opposite side of that list, there's TUB in 23rd spot. They're playing today, and they've only got only 6 games played. So it's a little bit risky. And
SB is another one, right, with only 4 matches played out. You know.
And I mean, you were saying, like, obviously this is the bubble, and it definitely is, because once they're out of this, they're out altogether, so we'll see.
Exactly. These are the remainder of the teams that are going down the line. ViaWar and 46 Loot will be playing up today, and they're the teams just kind of hanging on the edge. The rest of the squads actually not loading into any of the games, too. So, you know, there's actually a little bit, and if you think about it, a little bit easier of a time for some of those teams to make it in because there are squads that haven't been playing it. And then, of course, you see at the very bottom, that's ME Assassins. You know, there was a ruling issued against them for playing on an unapproved device, and they lost out some of the points that they had gained for it. So they're kind of trying to climb back from square one.
Yeah, and I mean, that's going to happen. So part of the rule set, I think it was rule 6.1, if you do want to go and read through them, is that you have to be playing on a phone device, not a tablet, not the PC, anything like that. Yeah. So make sure to follow those rules. And
good thing that you mentioned that, too, because you know where you can find those rules. You can, of course, find it and all that information, including up-to-the-minute standings, on our website at clubopen.pubgmobile.com. So you have no excuse not to be informed.
Yeah, and you don't want to end up down the bottom there. There is also another team that did get punished, but we'll get into that later. But if you want to watch a couple of highlights that have been around, and there's some really spicy plays, and once day 4 highlights come out, it's going to be pretty interesting.
Absolutely. You can find all that information, including all of our live streams, over at youtube.com/PUBGMOBILE Esports. Don't forget to subscription button and
ding dong that notification bell.
Oh man, that just was music to my ears right there.
Yeah.
This man, what a voice.
I can say the same for you, Devin.
Oh, thank you so much, Tom.
You wonderful person.
All right, you know, well, we could be complimenting each other till the cows come home, but we do got to get into the action. I cannot wait to see how these teams take to Sanhok groups A and D. It's going to be exciting. That's always tough to start on a map like Sanhok because even though we have all the maps in the pool here for PUBG Mobile, which is one of the big differences between that and, you know, your standard desktop PUBG where it's really only a couple of maps in rotation, seeing Sanhok, one of the smallest maps available, so little landmass actually, it's tight, it's tough, it's going to be interesting for sure. And here is the plane path coming in from the south.
Well, it seems to be that a couple of these teams do like it tight, and they're going to be jumping straight into the map on Sanhok. It's going to be coming up from the south all the way up to the north here, going to be ended up in Hattin, if that was it. But, you know,
Hattin, yeah.
We haven't actually seen much sort of action going on this part of the map. Not many teams have landed there or stuck around that point. So if the circle does land there, that would be very interesting. But we are going to be seeing SWAT 69 or 69 SWAT land down at the very bottom. So that is actually SWAT 69. One of the teams that I do have an eye on, and talking about Ion, there's also LND, who played fantastically yesterday, in particular Faker, who was really the crutch of his team.
Yeah, I think that's the thing here. Like, we see standout players really starting to come to the forefront and impressive stuff across the board with a handful of the players as well. And here's the circle forming. So this one actually is quite favorable for most of the squads.
Yeah, so it's actually taken up a lot of the land in which all the teams are in. There's a couple of AFK players, it seems like, at the top of the map you can see. KS are going to be on that sort of end of the flight path. They're going to be able to loot up very easily around the area, uncontended. And then there's going to be LTK to the very western side of the circle. Down south, though, is going to be SWAT 69, who are going to be taking up Sami and a couple of the other places. Over towards Paradise, there isn't actually anyone in there, so it's going to be a little bit inactive for now. But as we go on, I mean, it's probably the hottest area in the whole of this map during public games. But as we've gone on, we've seen these teams finally learn that public games aren't the way to play this.
No, we've definitely seen a meta start to evolve a little bit more. However, there is still a lot of early action. Some of the teams that are guilty of getting involved in that early action, maybe when it's ill-advised, is this Loot 46 squad. You know, we were looking at all of the teams and what we really wanted to say about them coming into today's play. And unfortunately for Loot 46, the best we could say was stop taking these early fights, find a way to survive. We want to see more from these guys because they're currently outside the bubble of the top 24. Yeah,
no, I'd actually really like to be able to see the average time played for these guys, because I think for them, we'd probably see that they end up dying within the first 16 minutes of every game, because they don't just tend to stick around to the very end. And there's obviously HeadHunterrs here, who have been one of the teams we have had an eye on, but they haven't been performing as well as we thought they would after the first couple of games. And we actually might see a first firefight coming out here between LTK and 7T.
Yeah, these are two tough teams, too. Remember, 7T, one of our better squads here, second place in the tournament right now. We'll see if they can get the big outplay in this compound. Split pretty good right now, but you can see Slam kind of keeping an eye on Fazza. outside the window as the looting has started already early on. LTK, I don't know if they really fancy this as much as they thought, but they are doing the best they can to make sure they keep all their intervals covered.
And this just reminds me of TRD versus AM over on Vikendi yesterday. Same sort of situation. LTK are under-equipped, and now they're going to get punished for it.
Yeah, that's Red Bull already going to get knocked there. Good nade from Fazad, and he's going to be the one on point. Let's see if he goes for the breach in solo. He's got Reef around the side, so he's not too worried about it. This is one of the things 17 do so well, and he's trying to light up that member of LTK. It looks like Slom, though, may have his number for just a second. They're switching out guns, and he gets the down, but man, did that look close.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to give him credit. I mean, Phaser is going to be on very low HP, so you have to be careful. LTK got 2 members standing at the moment. They're going to potentially just be best running off in this situation. But
they did take 1 down from 7T, though, so it's not like this is a total loss for them. But the problem is you're playing for placement points beyond anything else. So it's one thing to take 7T out of the tournament. You need to survive.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw yesterday TRD just went ham once they realized that they're at the top of the leaderboard. They just went in for kills. They hot dropped everywhere. And we may well be seeing a similar playstyle coming out from 7T if they do end up winning a couple of these games.
Do have a lot of points to try and get over TRD, though. Remember, you want to be as high up in the standings as you can. Of course, well in the safety range to qualify into the semifinals next week. But starting things off, you know, I think this is a lot more than LTK really bargained for, dropping up against 7T, because they're a solid squad. They've really been quite impressive, but 7T are in another league.
Yeah, you don't want to be playing up against sort of 7T or TRD and a couple of these other teams, maybe even AM. But if you do play against them and you do get a couple of down and you manage to get away without wiping them, cool, you get an advantage, but at the same time, you're going to be much weaker squad.
Looks like Mojrem's going to try and light him up with Fazad just outside the door here. He's taking his time. He's going to be running through, and that's going to be the down and the full elimination. Can you believe it? Live to kill out in 14th place.
Insane. I mean, they were one of the teams that you highlighted in your tweet, and unfortunately, they were one of the first to
I
die.
highlighted these 2 teams, and I didn't think they were going to hot drop each other, man.
They read your tweet. They were like, you know what? Screw this guy. We're going to drop into one of the boot camps.
They're just trolling me. Yeah.
I've got to go back to that fight, and I have to give massive credit to 7T because they didn't just bum rush them right at the end there. They actually did it in a very calculated way. They had multiple entry points into that building. And they didn't go in alone. They made sure they were able to down them. And if one person went down to control on the stairs, another person was there to take his place. So really well played to them, and GG to them being able to get the first 4 kills on their side. Yeah,
now LTK definitely kind of fought a little bit rough around the edges there, but of course normally they're a little bit more well-rounded. It's just that 7T are just so much better. And the thing is, they're not one of those teams that plays it safe. We looked into how many of the points are usually picked up by these teams from kills versus from placement, and 7T actually are pretty well balanced. They have a lot of frags, which means it looks like they're a little bit more kill reliant, but they also place consistently highly up the ladder.
Yeah, being able to get a bunch of kills and also place fairly highly is fantastic. I mean, if you consider the fact that for first place you get 30, second is 22, and so on and so forth. If you do what, for example, TRD yesterday, they came second, but then in their last game they came second, they still actually got 34 points, and the top team got 38 points.
Yeah, they managed to get really close to them despite the fact that there's a big split between the first and second. But let's start talking about a couple of our other squads in here, Tom, because we've seen a couple running around, not too many big firefights. It was just those 2 hot squads. And we do see a Rush to Crush, actually, a team that hasn't really had a good round since their opener on Vikendi last week.
Yeah, it's been a pretty disappointing journey. I think I actually called them and RBK from that sort of game, and also TRD as the ones to watch. And unfortunately, everyone apart from TRD have sort of really dropped off that first match. And we've not really seen for those first teams, RBK and obviously Rush actually be able to achieve anything.
No, I mean, there's always a hope that they can make it happen. They're still within the top 24, so they can definitely take some time to reset as long as they maintain a decent position. But we're seeing them go in the wrong direction, right? We don't want to see that team trend downward any further because that's not how you heat up. That's how you cool down. Yeah. And speaking of heating up, let's see where the next circle is. Ooh, good center for Loot 46, actually.
Now, this map could really be bad news bears for a lot of people because I've seen multiple of these circles actually land up on the western island there when most people don't expect it and until it's too late, and then they have to try and cross that river, and then the team who's on the western island already have that massive advantage where they can shoot down into the water, shoot onto the teams that are trying to come up, and it just turns into a massive bloodfest. But talking about bloodfest, let's have a look at this.
Yeah, we can see it looks like it's Tub facing off against Kurd Squad KS over there. A big fan favorite, actually. We've seen a lot of people in the chat talking about him up and down. Pretty much the most successful team out of Iraq that we've seen. And that's saying something because there's like 9 or 10 Iraqi squads in this event alone.
So many teams, and they're still managing to become top, and I think overall they're 7th place in total.
I think so. Yeah, we looked into it. It was kind of hard to find a specific thing that we thought they were especially good or bad at. They're extremely well-rounded as a squad. They're always consistently placing a little bit above the middle, so they're staying in solid position and kind of building up. But we'll see if they're able to take this fight against TUB here. Looks like they split out pretty well.
Oh, and TUB actually have
the down.
TUB actually have the tags as well, but it looks like they are also going to have it down.
See if they can move in onto him here. It looks like there's a decent advantage for the KS members, but they are giving times for TUB to turn him up. And the nade is primed for Eri here. Oh, he misses the angle. Well, better luck next time. But the rest of KS are right on top of it. And it looks like they're losing some serious members. TUB actually were only loading in with 3. They did get it down onto Ebo, though, and that's one of the standout players from the KS side.
You know, I'm just going to say thank you to these guys. They have actually got tags on finally. And, Kraken may actually be able to get a knock. Down to 5 HP there. The push is coming in. He knocks one.
Yeah, he's going to be able to get him down here. So KS do get a knock onto Ebo on their own side, but they manage to wipe out TUB, knocking him out in 13th place. So a couple of these fights that we've seen so far already going very decisively in favor of the teams in the higher rank.
Yeah, the higher ranked players are going to have to try and keep it up there. And AXT, they are actually one of the teams that were punished. And it was actually with the Lord, surprisingly, that he's now playing with them. They actually lost the results of 4 of their matches, which pushed them down to a lower placement. But either way, moving on to the Dancing Pirates.
That's what you call them. Yeah, they might be light pirates, but we've rechristened them a little bit because if you didn't watch yesterday, these guys took about 5 minutes to just throw a little dance party inside of a house on Vikendi. And they look good doing it, too.
Yeah, I got to give them massive praise for that because it's not just the fact that they're able to dance, which is beautiful, by the way. But
they
they're
can
also
dance if they want to.
Exactly, and if they can't, then they're not friends of mine. But there you go. Took me a couple of seconds to remember those words. But not only are they fantastic, glorious dancers and memers, but they're also really good at staying alive.
Impressively. It's weird because the first couple of rounds we watched them, it seemed like they couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Like their accuracy, their fighting, it just wasn't great. But they're able to find good spots to hide out. And lately, they've been improving on the accuracy. We've seen some really sick shots. There was a great headshot on Erangel over at Military Island from one of the remaining players on that side. And now we're kind of starting to see them take on this role of janitors, where they'll find these teams that have already engaged in firefights, and they have 1 or 2 stragglers, and they just pick them off with ease. And that's just how they're creeping their way up the ladder. I mean, it's a smart way to play when placement means everything.
Yeah, and I mean, consistency is everything in these sort of first initial sort of rounds, and it does give room for growth for all these teams that we're sort of talking about. Like even SWAT 69, who weren't very stable after their first initial win, which landed them 50 points. After that, they've kind of dropped off. Yeah. But if they gain a bit more consistency, then going into the semifinals, they could definitely improve and try and go forward. We know they've got the skill. Just look at Ray.
Might be hard to do, though, because 7T are creeping up on them. So, yes, Ray is definitely a big standout player, and we'll see as the circle starts to close in where the teams are going to be meeting up. Right in the middle there over by Boot Camp, Loot 46 might run afoul of Rush to Crush, but as the next circle comes through, there's still a decent bit of water there around the side. VW and KS going to be making their way across the water to make their way into the circle, and 7T and SWAT 69 are going to be legging it in kind.
I'm so glad it's actually shifted over to the eastern side rather than the western. It's quite interesting to see that happen, but in the end, it's actually just really bad gameplay from a lot of the teams because most of the teams end up just dying in the water, so it's not good. But nonetheless, let's have a look at this. So near Bootcamp, we're going to be seeing a couple of these teams. So RTC, okay, Rush to Crush, are going to be in here, and they all have their beautiful tags, which is brilliant. And then we have 46.
It's nice to see them adopting
so good.
it. Last week was very frustrating when we didn't know as much about them. But teams are really throwing on those tags, flashing the pride. You see Loot 46 still hold up in that compound. One thing we haven't talked about here is this third party that's going to go down between KS, VW, and HeadHunterr. It looks like Ari's going to open fire early on, getting the knock, but he manages not quite to get into safety himself. Ebo gets one down on the opposite side, but KS are starting to drop like flies here, and that's not great.
No, I mean, being one of the fan favorites with KS, you really expect them to do a bit better.
Oh boy! Julius just unloads an entire clip there and manages to knock down, eliminate one of the VW members, and they're completely out of this in 12th place. Ebo gets knocked by Julius. Kraken turns it around on Dr. Savage. I don't know who's going to win this fight, Tom. This is crazy.
Run, Kraken, run! He needs to get away because Julius is hunting for him. He's going to drop off a first aid kit, and he needs to make sure he's watching his angles because these guys are going to be pushing against him.
His teammates are both knocked here.
Yeah, maybe even recover Ibo. I mean, he's probably one of the better players on his team, but unfortunately he's going to be in a 1 versus 3 situation.
That's rough. Let's see if we can get the res up onto Evo and help him out, because Julius is wrapping around the side to see if he can get it. Actually, this is Nightmare we're watching. All right, they're trying to close in here, and he's realizing he's going to have to try to go for the outplay. Kraken getting one knock, but he's so low here, and Julius is going to be able to finish him off. KS run afoul of the Headhunters, and they get hunted.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of commented on them earlier, the fact that there was nothing really good from them in the last couple of games, but it seems like they have actually decided to take heed of my words, and they have actually proven themselves in that matchup, taken full advantage of that third-party position, managing to wipe 2 teams. Absolutely beautiful coming out from them, with the help of KS, who then they finished off.
Yeah, I mean, that was really good play from Headhunters. We've seen some potential out of them, most notably earlier yesterday when they were involved in a big fight up against UN that kind of was indecisive. But we got to move on because the actions definitely happened pretty quick. We talked about how fast things could be. We're keeping an eye on the remaining 3 7T members. Seeing only 2 on the map right now, but I believe it's still 3 alive over by boot camp.
Yeah, there is. They're in that one compound. And one of the things I want to bring up with them, and it sort of reflects on their first fight, they tend to rush into things a little bit separately. In the past, their Control, for example, rushed in too many times and just died, and then left his team a little bit open to dying out. So it's good to see it from the very start that they actually played a bit more like a team. So let's see what actually happens to the Dancing Pirates as IQM push in.
We have not really talked about IQM so far today because they've really kept to the side, kept quiet here. But the Pirates are going to be in a little bit of trouble. Now, we do always talk about IQM having individual standout performances. These are guys that almost consistently get wiped off the map, apart from one player, who then somehow manages to get into the top 3. This time, it's a very different story because they have been very quiet, been alive for so long, and now Purge has got Corp in the crosshairs.
He's just watching him and doesn't really want to take a shot. Oh, it looks like he's going to have to in a second.
Oh! Goro says, no. I'm the one tracking you. And it looks like we may be in one of those situations after all. Goro's going to drop Purge down.
That just reminds me of last night. We actually saw LP in the crosshairs of, I think it was H mode.
Yeah, who had that really good position on Pride Rock. But this is what I mean about LP. They've really, their scope accuracy is insane, which makes me question why the heck we didn't see it earlier on in the tournament.
Yeah, and I think we may well be seeing them come out now that, as you sort of mentioned multiple times yesterday, their dancing is actually improving their level of play.
It's leveling up a bit. Exactly.
Look at this circle, though. So it is going to be doing a hard shift up north.
Away from boot camp.
Favoring UN, LND, AXT, and also Headhunters slightly. But Headhunters do actually need to move compound.
Rush to crush.
Yeah, so Rush to Crush are fighting someone. Who is that? Who are you guys crushing?
I don't know. This is one of the better maps we've seen from them so far if they can stay alive. But 70's coming up around the left side of boot camp as well, and they might actually overtake Loot 46 here. So this next circle is going to be extremely decisive with 9 squads still left up and alive.
9 squads. How many people? 34. It's
Where
not too
is the
bad.
third player on 7T?
Third
He's
player.
way back there.
Yeah, he's just lagging behind. He's like, wait, guys, hello.
Feels bad, man, when your team runs that far ahead of you.
But
there's been some standout individual clutches from 7T as well. Reef was the big man on Erangel.
Yeah.
That was insane stuff. Rush to Crush are going to be popping into the car. Kind of going back, a little bit of throwback with everyone in the pickup truck going out for a road trip.
That car, I think, may well be smoking, so I do question their choice to do this, but 70 approaching 46.
All right. Well, those numbers may not always add up for everybody, but Loot 46 haven't been able to take these fights super effectively. Question is, does Fazan know they're inside this compound?
You'd like to think so.
And he's going to go around the side. Remember, you can peek a little bit easier here, third-person perspective and all.
Yeah, so thanks to that grenade, he is going to know of their presence here. How are they going to take it, though? Control is looking to drop in a couple of grenades in here.
There's a couple of teams getting involved in this as well, but they're not quite up in the angle. So first things first, he opens it up and just unloads fire. Azim is going to get dropped down immediately, and so is Alush here. And all of a sudden, Loot 46 in a massive amount of trouble. Fazan taking some shots. There's the down under control. Moomin may have a chance here. Jumping around, bunny hopping, and it looks like Loot 46 might have almost done it, but you can see Maori is still on the opposite side. Mr. 404, excuse me.
Wow.
Man, he could be in trouble right now. This might be the end here. However, it looked like for just a second it wasn't going to be the case, but what a shocker. 70 out in 9th.
That is so impressive coming in from 46, and we did say they're going to have to do something magical to be able to come back into this, and it looks like they are looking to achieve that by wiping out the top dogs of the whole server. Even if they were at a disadvantage, I would have still given them the win there, but unfortunately, they didn't use their utility enough. They just rushed in.
Yeah, that was a bit uncharacteristic. Really surprising that they did that with inferior numbers. Now, we are going to see Rush to Crush taking this high ground and trying to pick off the remaining members of Loot 46. They've already got Moomin down. Rush has got his scope back up.
person left alive.
They should be able to do this pretty easily. And this is just unfortunate if you're Loot 46. You just survived a fight against one of the toughest teams in this region, and then all of a sudden, Rush to Crush just showed up and wrecked your day. So they're out in 8th, unfortunately, for Loot 46. But you got to hand it to them. They definitely took a fight that, you know, we didn't really expect them to.
Yeah, I mean, they've probably, nearly doubled their kills? Not quite, but
they're
still,
getting there.
Still pretty impressive for them, taking out one of the top teams who were playing a little bit uncharacteristic, as you would maybe say. I mean, because I would expect them to be able to truck in those nades, really take control of that situation, but instead, one Molotov went off, and then they just pushed. They got a couple of downs, but then they were outplayed.
Yeah, speaking of outplaying, it looks like a big fight coming in here as Rush to Crush tries to breach into the compound that L&D are occupying. Meanwhile, AXT from the outside firing down shots on the UN members, and there's just bullets firing in all directions. Rush goes in for the breach, doesn't realize there is still a lot of damage to be had here. Now, Faker, can he be the big hero? Looks to peek outside the house and just completely sprays it down, but meanwhile, he gets knocked himself. It's going to force a first aid kit out of Demu here.
First aid kit is going to help them, but it's a little bit dangerous because you're going to have to do a lot more than just use this meds, because if one grenade could take you out in this situation.
Yeah, this is the dangerous thing. Now the smoke does come in, so everyone's getting a little bit antsy right now. Rush to Crush have 2 knocked players. One is going to get back on his feet. Meanwhile, HeadHunterrs and UN are engaged in a big firefight just off to the screen, but the blue's starting to come in. You've got to move here if you're Rush to Crush.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of these players like Faker have to heal up here, and it's going to be 2-pack pushing up against this door. Needle knows where he is, and Faker, the clutch player, is going to be peeking out. He's going to get down.
Nicely done by 2-pack here, and it looks like Rush to Crush might just be able to take this one. However, they run it. There's still 2 healthy members. 2-pack getting knocked here. And this is so tense right now, as they're just going to go for the double peek going out here, looking for that outplay. Drugs manages to finish it off, and Rush to Crush will get wiped out in 7th as they fail the breach onto L&D.
Yeah, but they are actually going to sustain a little bit fire from another team. Can't quite see who it is, but they have to be very careful here. And in the meantime, AXT approaching IQM, who are now going to be taking shots at them.
Yeah, Rodal's going to get knocked down by IQM's 3 remaining members. Remember, they lost somebody earlier on in this one, and it looks like Mustafa is going to get knocked as well by Lord on the opposite side. Lord gets knocked in kind, so it's very indecisive in terms of this fight. Over here by Paradise.
Yeah, and I mean, AXT don't actually have one of their better players, Paluto, playing anymore.
And they're losing people to the blue while that's all happening. They just couldn't get out of there in time. That's what happens when you fight up against the barrier. Mustafa, that's the nade. It looks like it bounced off the ground, though.
Yeah, it's been an unfortunate one because it was actually looking pretty good. But Faker and Drugs, they're gone. They're dead.
Yeah. L&D, I think they're just wiped off the map after that. So a little unfortunate that you win the fight, but you still end up dying. This circle's getting really tiny right now with 14 players still alive in it, 5 teams still up.
And that was actually HeadHunterrs who had taken the damage down onto L&D. I don't know if L&D are fully wiped. I think they are. We'll have to see in a moment, but we're going to be seeing UN at the moment push in, and unfortunately for them, he's going to be pushing straight on into HeadHunterrs, who are on a massive tour right now.
Yeah, they are. Ooh, that's a lot of bullets coming across the way. It's AXT lighting them up there with their remaining 3. Now, AXT definitely have a lot of work to do here as they try to recover from losing some of their points by the ruling.
Yeah, and that was actually a team wipe, so it's now going to be down to the last 4 teams, rather. It's going to be HeadHunterrs, AXT, IQM, and also the final one, which I now can't quite see. Still going to be standing at the moment.
And normally I'd say it's 7T, but they got wiped a lot earlier on. I can't believe that happened.
That's just insane on that front. So
it's LPI.
LP.
It's the Live Pirates. They're still in this. Again, what do we say? They're good at 2 things, not dying and dancing.
I want them to win this. That'd be absolutely beautiful here.
They deserve a chicken dinner.
And that they are grouped really close together, so it's quite dangerous for them doing this. But look at this. Mustafa's right next to AXT.
Oh, Clown was right on top of him. Didn't see it. It looks like Rodal finally finds him here, and that's going to be another elimination, but the bullets just keep on coming. It's Mustafa still unloading onto Clown, and Rodal, who gets knocked just outside the blue. Meanwhile, Koro is going to take some shots of his own. He may not get the credit for it, but it doesn't matter. Finally, he does get the knock. Rodal is going to be taken out of this one. That's another frag picked up, and we're down to 3 squads. It's AXT, LPI. Who's the third? It's going to be HeadHunterrs.
And HeadHunterrs are so close to LP, and they have the full advantage on this situation, but AXT going to be chiming in with their own bullets.
Yeah, Clown, he's going to be unloading easily onto HeadHunterrs there. That's the Bape and Dr. Savage already taken down, and they're down to just 1 healthy member. Nightmare, will he be able to stand up to this one? He finds Lord, gets the knock onto him. Meanwhile, though, Julius is going to get finished off, and on the opposite side, it looks like we are down to only 2 LPI and 1 remaining member of AXT.
This has got to be LP's time to shine. The Dancing Pirates here, they need to meme on the bodies.
Can they do it? I don't know. If Clown could clutch, though, they definitely deserve this win on the
definitely.
AXT side. He's going to be popping himself an energy drink as he gets the smoke up.
Yeah, and I mean, AXT actually have a ton to prove right now. They lost half their points, so they need to get back up on the scoreboard, and they're looking to do exactly that, chucking out the nades, trying to find those kills.
Well, let's see if Clown can put a smile on his team's face right here. LPI, one thing they're really good at, when they have the superior numbers, you think it's kind of obvious, but they're so good at just picking off players quickly, and Clown has to know this, so he's not going to give them an open shot. But the circle is favoring the Light Pirates.
And I just want to say, AXT have 9 kills right now just by themselves. That is really well played. And Clown, he's not even full HP yet. He is getting close there. He's got full level 2 gear and a level 3 backpack. He has spotted a couple of people who's trying to take shots there, and now he's going to have to crawl inside the circle.
Very close, very steady and slow. It looks like there's a couple of snakes on the opposite side too, and Issa might have revealed himself here. Clown doesn't quite have the sight on him, and it looks like it's just a matter of time. That's going to be it with Koro finding the final shot to finish it out. Light Pirates claim the chicken dinner. Man, they've been building up to it.
That was impressive, and I mean, they only get 3 kills, so they only get 33 points, but still really well played.
Well, 4, they have that final one at the end.
Sorry, 4 points.
But still, like, that's 34 points picked up. Well, they've just been sneaking positional plays up until this point.
Yeah, and I mean, considering AXT, they've actually just recovered a majority of their points as well, so got to give them really a lot of props for that, and I think they walk away with 9 kills in total. So, you know, that's pretty good. 31 points in total. That's not that far behind.
No, it's not bad. He's considering you need to make
got.
up as much as you can.
Yeah, and I mean, that was fantastic news for them. And I mean, HeadHunterrs, third place.
One of the things we wanted to see from them was better improvement in terms of their overall positioning, how they were taking those firefights. It got really hectic in the end. 3rd place, that's honestly forgivable considering we've seen this team place 9th, 10th, 11th a couple of times when we wanted to see more out of the Bahraini squad. Here's the start of it, though. This was where LTK and 7T were locked in Mortal Kombat, and it looked pretty dicey for a moment.
Yeah, I mean, when you lose one player, it's not so good. But this was the play I was talking about. They actually pushed in together, got the frags, and walked away with 3 members alive.
That was 7T's signature play. They would kind of give that up a little bit later on, but here was the TUB versus Kurd Squad, and you know this one was also pretty indecisive here. However, at the end of the day, Kraken comes in, he gets the knock, he gets the downs, they finish the job. Ari was pretty solid on the draw as well.
Yeah, now KS trying to come in here, and they do really well on these first initial knocks and kills. Look at that. And then it's actually HeadHunterrs that joins in.
Look at that down onto Ebo here. Julius does that with just a sliver of HP, and that's the most impressive thing for me. Kraken tries to hang tough here, but at the end of the day, HeadHunterrs were just too strong. And here is where 7T throw caution to the wind, and this was the most uncharacteristic play we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, they just rush in guns blazing, and unfortunately, that's not a sort of situation for them to really play with. They had an opportunity to be able to grenade them, didn't do it, and walked away
this
dead.
Felt bad, man. Rush to crush. You're like, oh, what's this? An unhealthy, like, 2-man squad left? Okay. L&D, meanwhile, we're trying to fight it out against Rush to Crush later on, so I suppose turnabout is fair play. But unfortunately, even though L&D did manage to win this firefight at the end of it all, they ended up dying to the environmental.
It was actually HeadHunterrs that joined in.
No, you're right. Yeah, HeadHunterrs came in for the 3rd party.
Yeah,
okay.
which is good. But then we go to the Dancing Pirates, overall winners. Then to get there, they actually had to sort out a couple of teams, AXT included.
Yeah, and HeadHunterrs, of course, kind of locked in it as well, while Clown was sort of a little bit preoccupied here. What a great shot by Nightmare, and he just gets the finisher off. And that was it. That was everything. And, like, honestly, I can't give enough props to LPI because quiet as a mouse when they need them to be, but then they just unload a hail of bullets at the very end.
Yeah, and I'm so happy they won. I mean, I said I wanted to see them win the Dancing Pirates.
Well, we've been memeing a little bit because they're doing that. But, you know, honestly, a team that has a sense of humor, it's always got a special place in my heart.
Exactly, especially when it's dancing and using the motes in-game, which is pretty cool. And they also have some
coordination.
Cool skins
it's
as well.
4 players, too.
Yeah,
it's not just one player just kind of, you know, having some fun. Everybody's getting involved.
Yeah, and we've seen it a couple of times, but they actually walk away with that with a good amount of kills and points. I mean, 4 may not seem huge compared to a couple of the other teams.
For them, though, too, right?
But
like, this is one of the least kill-reliant teams we have in the whole tournament.
Yeah, I mean, comparable to them, who only tend to play for placement, which they got in this match as well, it's really good for them. I mean, it's, above their average.
Yeah, now I'm really looking forward to seeing how they play on the next map as well, because Vikendi has actually been one of their better spots. They seem to do well on these smaller maps, where they can play compound to compound very effectively, which kind of surprises me, because you think smaller maps means less places to hide, and less places to really camp out. But they make it work, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can do next.
Well, I mean, we saw them yesterday just hiding on top of the buildings and just dancing away.
That's where we got the moniker for sure.
So, yeah, that's pretty much secured it, where we're like, right, You were dancing pirates. That's it. Nothing
Came onto
else.
the highlights too. That was the best part. Thank you, producers. It was some good stuff. But yeah, other surprises. I think a couple of our teams dropping down a little bit lower. So now we see this is not updated just yet with all of the matches played. But Seven Reef Team, this is where it started at the beginning, and they have a long way to go to try and make up on TRD. Which, with the same number of games played before the start of today, it's actually quite a big difference. And that's the rough thing here, is that they're going to have to do a lot better on the next 3 maps.
Yeah, so we'll go back to the standings in a moment. I think they'll be updated, which would thank you guys on that front. So either way, we're going to be going forward. And if you want to see the standings, apart from on our screen, there is a really easy place to go see them.
Yes, there is. We have our website, of course, is clubopen.pubgmobile.com. Those standings are updated very quickly. And you can also check all of the rosters, the lineups, and you can even see all the regions around the world playing in the PUBG Mobile Club Open, not just here in the Middle East, but of course, this is the one you want to watch, right?
Yeah. And you can go back and you can see all the results from all the past days.
Including highlights.
And if you want to go see some highlights,
you can, of course, go to youtube.com/PUBGMobileEsports. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button and
ding dong that notification bell.
Never gets old, man. Someone's going to have to make a compilation of him saying that over
Ding
and over
dong.
again. Ding dong.
My tra-la-la.
And that's going to be me in video in 24 hours or less. But on that spicy note, we have got to go to a break. We'll be right back with more of the PUBG Mobile Club Open right after this.
Zombie, Darkest Night, the newest mode in the zombie universe, is here. This time, the rules are different. No more parachuting, as players will be placed at random locations on the map when the match begins, and there is no single winner. Players must work with their teammates to spend one long night in the match and stay alive until the sun comes up. Waves and waves of zombies will spawn during each of the 3 foggy periods at night, and supplies should only be scavenged when the fog fades. The main objective is not to defeat other players, though this doesn't mean they are harmless. Players may need to work with other teams when necessary, but should also watch their backs in case the Fragile Alliance goes south. This will be a unique experience for every player involved. This new mode also comes with a passive skill for every player. Understanding these skills will be the key to staying alive in this long night. Can you ride out the night?
PUBG Mobile for free.
And we're back. Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the PUBG Mobile Club Open. This is the group stages. We are commentating the ME region for the groups and, of course, the semifinals coming up next week. And I am still Pirate Titans, and he is still Wee Freeman, also known as Tom Pickering.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Just like it was for Light Pirates that last game. What a finish for them. They've been
them.
building up to it. Like we'd seen them kind of just eke out increasingly better scores on almost exclusively placement. And they get 4 frags and a chicken dinner. Where the hell did that come from?
They're just dancing their way in, mate.
Yeah, that's great. It's good stuff.
You know, you got to get those. I'm terrible at dancing, so I'm not even going to try and do anything.
No, you did for like a second. I was like, is he going to go full emote? You know, like, is that going to happen? Because I'm just going to watch if that's the case.
I need to check out and learn some of the dance moves that we need to for, you know, from in-game, and then we'll bring that to you next
incoming
week.
stuff for semis. But let's talk about the standings as they are right now. These are, of course, the updated ones after last game. 7 Reef team, unfortunately, falling down very quickly here and not getting a lot of placement points, just a couple of kills instead. But look at the Light Pirates moving on into the 3rd place position with 171 points. Ooh. And they have better placement than 7 Reef overall. This is what we're talking about. These guys always play for placement. Look, they have almost a 1/3 of the kills.
That's just insane. I mean, you got to give it to them. They're 1 point ahead of 7 Reef, who we consider to be the 2nd best.
Yeah, and they're in 3rd place overall in the groups right now after only 1 game played. This is not actually a huge imbalance in terms of the teams that have only played 8 maps because that's not a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, they're only, 37 points behind 7 Reef. So, you know what? It's getting pretty tight. They could easily catch up there. But
it is.
Let's have a look at IQM. They've actually jumped up, and they're now in 10th place.
1 spot above LND. IQM had a really solid finish that time around. That was actually probably one of the best performances we've seen out of them because IQM,
as a team.
Yes, we typically didn't know what to say for them as a team because usually it would come down to one player when the rest had gotten knocked.
Yeah, and like talking about sort of teams that we were really sort of surprised with and very happy. You know what? HeadHunterr.
Yeah.
They did fantastic. They actually played as a team, and they actually came in 3rd with a couple of kills as well.
Yeah, so that starts to move them up into the 14th place position. I think if we see that in at least one more map today, we will see them move up even further in the standings, and this is what we wanted to see out of HeadHunterr because we saw some potential in them early on, and we just didn't really see that spark in the last couple of games. Finally, it comes in here, and then we move on down into the next of the squads. Rush to Crush started to finally move up the standings just a little bit after falling further down. TUB kind of fell further down. ViaWar, they also didn't do quite so well in that last round, so these are all teams that have the potential to move their way up, but they are still technically within the qualifying round.
Yeah, I mean, one of the scary things is if you have a look at the top sort of couple of teams here from 17th to 21st, they're actually all very close, all within 10 points of each other. So it's very easy to move up and down there. And then below that, I mean, it's still not too far from 60 points up to 80 points. I mean, for these guys, it seems obviously a little bit more of a struggle for them to go that sort of distance compared to some of the top teams like TRD, who average a ridiculous amount of points way above that.
Yeah, that's true. And then, of course, here's our bubble teams as well. 46 Loot trying to move up there, but unfortunately they're still in that 26th position. Honestly, I kind of feel bad for them in this particular instance because they had a great fight against 7T, and then Rush to Crush came in and just swept them away. I would like to see this squad a little bit more in form like that in the next couple of games, and we might see them breaking into the top 24.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, they're what we consider the bottom team at the moment because 26th place is the last sort of active team in this current leaderboard. But they could definitely do a lot better if they take some of what they did there and actually put it into the next game. You know what? They could actually jump up the leaderboard and try and get inside that bubble.
Yeah, it's certainly possible, but we'll have a couple more rounds to see before it happens. Now, we will be loading up onto Vikendi next, so it's another smaller map. Are there any expectations you have in particular for these squads, Tom?
I think we're going to be seeing good results again from LP. We saw it before. They get the rotations very well done. And I think Seven Reef are going to actually come back into this game and do a little bit better.
Oh, looking forward to seeing how that goes. Now, just as a reminder, if you want to check all of those stats, including the up-to-date information on all of the standings, and of course the squads and their lineups, you can head over to our website at clubopen.pubgmobile.com. You can, of course, get that information for all of the regions, not just the MEA, but of course that's the best one, so that's what you want to watch. And in addition, you can also catch all the action live and the highlight reels at our YouTube channel. That is youtube.com/PUBGMobileEsports. Don't forget to smash that notification button and
ding dong that notification bell.
boom. Good stuff.
I need to start doing that.
You are getting deeper and deeper every time you do it. Like your American radio DJ voice is getting good.
It's the way they like it, mate.
Yeah, well, I like it for sure. And what I also like to see is some solid PUBG Mobile play because they're seeing that out of the Light Pirates. They're looking so good. I do want to see Seven Reef Team step it up because I think that was actually their worst performance.
Yeah, it was. And you know what? Another team that above Seven Reef I want to see actually performing. I didn't get to finish earlier, but KS. I want to see them do a lot better. They have it in them to perform, and they are the fan favorite. And also, we do actually look at them favorably sometimes. In the past, they've done some fantastic shots. Let's see if they've got it in.
They're really well rounded too. I mean, that's I think the thing that we look at this team is they don't ever seem to stand out in a negative or a positive direction for the most part. But they're still above average. That was as close to an average performance in that particular map, and that's why it feels a little disappointing because we expect a little bit more from them overall.
Yeah, unfortunately, they were just in a really tough situation between HeadHunterr and VW. VW got taken out by them and also HeadHunterr, and then it went downhill from there. But talking about downhill, let's have a look at the slopes of Vikendi here. It's going to be going from Dobro all the way over towards the Peskova. And it's going to be a little bit of a chilly game here and also a very northern sort of plane path going above and below these towns.
I thought it was supposed to be summer, but you know what they say, winter is coming here, especially on Vikendi. It's going to be all ice caps, and we'll see what the teams drop out. Rush to Crush actually riding it quite far in the plane, but a lot of teams dropping extremely early, and that actually includes VW going down to the south, LTK heading up to Port. We don't often see teams go that far north here on Vikendi.
Yeah, it's not so often, but when a plane path is like this, it's very optimal to be able to try and get there. One of the things that we've commented on in the past is that a lot of these teams don't tend to drop, get a car, and then loot. They always tend to go for the loot first. And Circle's not going to favor a lot of these teams.
We might finally get a Dino Park circle. Tom, Christmas has come early.
Christmas is coming. You know, but Dino Park, ideal situation. We want to make all those Jurassic
Someone
Park
needs
reference.
to drop there. Someone, please do.
I don't
AXT,
think
go.
anyone is. AXT could try and shoot over there. But
This is going to be a real run-and-gun type of map, though, because you look at all the teams that have dropped to the east. So many of them are over by Cement Factory, a little bit further to the south. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if AXT were smart about this, they would just play on the edge, loot. Well, they would loot up, play on the edge, and stop people from being able to get in. But KS, we talked about them as we went into this game. They're going to be playing up against what are the potential teams who have the huge firepower in them, as from such people like Ray.
Yes, indeed. As we drop down, 14 teams in this one. KS up against SWAT 69. Will they be able to take it to start up? But it looks like it's Rush to Crush that are engaged in the first firefight. No. And meanwhile, LP's starting to lose people. So there's a couple of different fights on a few different fronts. Hama, what the heck was he doing out there?
Why are they doing this? ISO, run and darts. You gotta get away.
He's the only one left. Oh my god! They just get a chicken dinner. They just got a chicken. What the heck was that?
They're like, well, we got a chicken dinner. Now we want to go on 14.
I mean, well, Ice is still there, and yeah, he's got nothing. So he's just gonna be running completely alone. And unfortunately, he's not even going the right direction.
He can't even go anywhere near them. He has to just hope that they don't even chase him. So he's going to walk over here.
It's a good thing they got that win last time around because they definitely need to pad some points out.
Well, you know what? They're good at playing positions. So this is going to be a real testimony for them actually being able to do that. So we'll have to see. But another part of the map, we are going to be seeing 46, and they do actually have a car, and I think they're up towards the northern side, so they are going to have to rotate down. HeadHunterr, the Bape, is on foot, running along.
Yeah, he's going to be joining his team pretty soon here. So no HeadHunterr, another solid performing team, that last one. One of the teams that I think we also want to see more from is LTK, because they got involved in a very ill-advised early firefight with 17. This time, they've dropped quite far away from other teams.
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't exactly on purpose. They dropped sort of mid of the plane path into a very close town called Port. But let's have a look at potential fight coming in from Kraken, the team at KS, everyone's favorite.
Kraken's definitely been one of the standout players. Ari as well, you can see just in the sights off the way. Let's see if SWAT 69 are a good enough match for them. They've definitely had some standout plays. This is the team that managed to get a chicken dinner and 20 frags on Miramar last week, and that was, at the time, I believe, a record for a single game.
Yeah, it can be pretty incredible sometimes from these teams. So they tend to like jump up on a couple of these kills, and then they tend to just drop down, and that's exactly what happened with SWAT 69. They did really well, and then they kind of dropped off the map, and we've not seen anything impressive from them since. A little bit more of an average gameplay from them. Let's see if they can actually take the fight on with KS, or if they drop off the face of the map. And if they lose this one, it's not going to do well for them.
Now, Ray is going to be the one to watch in that team fight, especially because he's been the big standout player on the SWAT 69 side. But let's take a look at what's happening over here. HeadHunterrs faced off against IQM. They're not completely healthy. In fact, Dr. Savage and Nightmare are both knocked already.
Yeah, this is not the ideal situation we want to be in, and IQM are going to push in.
That's the stop at 99. He's going to get nearly knocked himself. Finally does. That's the Bape who lights him up. And it looks like HeadHunterrs managed to get one back on their feet. It's Nightmare. Dr. Savage still on the ground. And around the side, one of the IQM members is sneaking up here. Going in. He's going to open fire here. Oh, nearly gets dropped, but he's still alive in this one. Here's the wraparound just in time. Doesn't get the angle. And that was a nice attempt by IQM, but it will be foiled by HeadHunterrs.
Yeah, and IQM are actually going to have to run away. Somehow they had the upper hand, and now they have the lower hand. And talking about lower hand, we're going to be seeing KS on the potential lower angles here.
Yeah, still nobody's knocked just yet. Nobody downed. KS not really looking to push out of their position for the time being, but early fights happening. Molotov procced here for Airy. He chucks it right into the other window and immediately does a runner. Smoke's down as well. Where's Moha going? Is he going to try to do the long wrap?
Kind of seems like he's actually just running away. He's been a coward, mate. He's running for the hills.
Well, IQM, they had one player do that and managed to live, and you know, this is how IQM gets a lot of their points, remember. I was about to say before we switched context there that that's kind of one of the ways they end up carrying. They just lose 3, and then nobody thinks about them, and all of a sudden they come in at the end.
Well, having a look at Kraken here, he's in a really interesting position. Hopefully he doesn't get fouled. Or actually, he was. He's going to get tagged down, has to drop out of that position.
Yeah,
and he gets knocked out.
All right. Good job by SWAT 69.
No, they didn't even knock him. He dropped down and took full damage. and knocked
but wasn't he?
himself
He was already damaged ahead of time, right?
Yeah, he was.
But then he drops in. Oh yeah, physics are a thing.
Physics.
Yeah. Good positioning though from the rest of KS to be able to do it. Here's the replay.
Oh, let's look at this. So it's actually a pretty good position for him. But
he missed the jump. Oh no.
Well, you know what they say, he can't jump, but a bit unfortunate. Going back into the main action, though. Let's see what's
release the
happened
Kraken onto the ground, unfortunately. Looks like the Molotov comes out in the house, but the rest of KS have actually already moved away. Stab Eye on that front position. Going to be backing up. SWAT 69, we see 3 other members. The 4th one might still be going for that long flank. We can see him on the mini-map just barely. But meanwhile, we're checking with a couple of other squads. This is going to be Loot 46, and they are going to be by themselves for the time being.
Which is the best thing for them sometimes. They don't have the strongest firepower when it comes to fighting, although they did take out 7 Reef. Talk about firepower though.
Back into the fight. SWAT 69, really big split from them right now. Let's keep your eye on Ray. Remember, he's going to be the one that usually has those standout performances, especially in terms of getting the knocks and kills.
Yeah, and then on the opposite side, it's going to be Ibo, who you should really watch out for. But Kraken has had a few cracking sort of angles, but unfortunately wasn't able to make purchase of them. So we'll have to see if he's able to do anything with those in the future. But looks like they may actually be looking to back away from this fight, which is a smart thing to do. They're not inside the circle, so they're going to have to do a bit of a run. And talking about running, we're going to be seeing RTC looking to jump in a vehicle and go for a drive in towards the circle.
Demu's not with them now, so will they pick him up and go as 4, or are they just going to stick for the 3 here as the rest of Rush to Crush will make their way in? They're pretty far out. You can see IQM's last member is far away as well as the rest of the teams are kind of all making moves, including the last remaining member of the Light Pirates. And here we are on Dino Park. Oh boy.
Raw.
That's what you got for me? Raw?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's a Brontosaurus, mate.
Brontosaurus, mate, what are you talking about? What are you doing?
What's the Stegosaurus sound like?
Stegosaurus.
I think that's the same voice.
Rah. They're a little bit. They're not as lively as the T-Rexes or Ray.
Or the Velociraptors.
What is Ray doing? I think he's trying to protect this Dacia from KS, who are looping around these buildings, and IQM Purge still alive somehow.
Yeah, he stayed alive. This is going to be one of those situations like with the Light Pirates where we see just one player trying to leg it as best he can. And it looks like we'll see one of the VW members. Not sure if they got involved in an early fight and knocked as well. But this guy's all by himself.
Which reminds me of that song called was it Madness? I don't know. Lonely World. Either way, talking about Lonely Worlds, we may well be seeing Ray running off into the distance with these guys because somehow they're still chasing them. I'm not quite sure why. There was a car they could take, but SWAT 69, the frag-hungry guys, definitely want to try and take these kills, but I think it's too late. They need to back away from this.
So at the end of the day, that standoff really results in no kills here, but I think both teams have got to be okay with that situation. They will have to start making moves a little bit. Chaos actually come right back into the town as SWAT 69 have evacuated. We still have 14 teams up in total. That's 50 players alive, and 7T in a better position. Can also see this drop coming in. There's an AWM inside of that care package. That's going to be pretty interesting if they decide to go take it up.
Yeah, an AWM can make all the difference against a couple of these players. If you can get that high damage and then chuck in a couple of grenades, would be brilliant. And 7T is still in this. A bit of a surprise to some people. And VW, I just want to bring on this up. They're in 3 different spots right now across the whole map.
Yeah, what is going on? This is a crazy split right now with VW that none of them dropped. But I mean, like, if I didn't know better, I'd say this is solos, and everyone's just like, I got this, and then they go on in a different direction. But I don't think that's the case for VW.
No, I mean, I have actually seen that happen in a couple of games in the past, and it's been quite amusing to see. Usually done by the very top team who secured their progression or the win, and they end up just like, you know what, we don't care, we're going to drop into 4 different parts of the map.
Even TRD doesn't do that, though. They like the death ball.
Well, I mean, TRD did do a lot of hot drop in the last 2 games.
That they did.
Just going for frags, and it worked fantastically because they got another 2 second places. But let's have a look at HeadHunterrs here. We have, I wouldn't say high expectations, but we do have higher expectations of them this game than
After
we did
that last
before.
round,
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. And in the distance there, we can see LP, the Dancing Pirates.
The last one left is Issa as well. But for this squad over by Abby, they're actually in a pretty solid spot until the next circle comes in. We'll have to see where it ends up going because they can move into Dino Park if they want. They can also go further down to the south, and there's really no one to contest them. SWAT 69, LTK. It's been one of those quieter games because of where the circle got placed. Everyone realized, wait a second, we dropped way too easterly for that. So they actually end up heading to the west. And here's one of those VW members hold up inside the house as he sees L2K drive off into the distance.
Yeah, and I mean, he's not even inside the circle, so he's going to have to evacuate there very shortly because the blue's going to hit him, and he's going to start losing health. Doesn't even look like
Is he
he's
AFK?
active. Yeah, maybe.
Oh, dear.
Might explain why they're all apart. I think one of their members actually drowned.
Nope, he's moving.
Oh, there we go. He was just trying to play it smart, so no one actually heard him move. But
there's the next circle.
Circle is coming in, and unless it shifts hard down towards Dino Park, it's very unlikely that we're going to be seeing our favorite place taken in. There's another package dropping as well, right above one of the teams.
That's TUB.
Yeah, it's a TUB. The TUB team could pick up the M249, which is a fantastic weapon. Lots of bullets, 100, so it allows for these players who just pray and spray to actually
It's
get
no
hit.
AWM, but it's pretty good. I've seen some good plays. I was talking about how it wasn't all that great before we started casting together, and you just like looked at me with this like really judgmental stare, and then I realized why, because there was a sick gameplay. Oh, whoa, we got cars! Mustafa! His car's on fire right now as they chase him down. UN! Talk about a drive-by.
And IQM and UN are actually right next to each other, if I remember correctly. Oh, very close, rather, in where they're going. So they have to be careful in this part. But we'll see that happen. And now we're going to be seeing VW player, I like to call him Speg, it's not low. And he's going to be trying to
SMGM, yeah.
He's trying to hide behind this very, very thin tree, which isn't really going to protect you from the likes of LTK, who we also have high hopes for. And you did call out to be one of the teams to watch, who then died, I think, in first place. in last place.
That died first, yeah. If in the death standings, they're top after that last game for sure. But LTK looking to try and light things up, but it's going to be KS that actually managed to do it because they find LTK on the opposite side. The fan favorites start to take a lead here. 2 knocks or 1 knock onto LTK, but now they also have to turn on the opposite side. Not sure what they're shooting at. It's going to be Evo who's opened it up on the right side, whereas the rest of his team's over on the left.
So yeah, I think there's going to be a couple of fights coming out here between those guys, and on the rotation, it's going to be HeadHunterrs trying to shift off away from Abby over to the potential fight, because they do need to get a bunch of kills so they can make sure their position is secured. LTK here.
Still up in this. They haven't lost too much just yet. In fact, none of their players are knocked right now. Meanwhile, Ahmed actually gets taken down by Groza, and Mohawk combos up on a Mojrem. So there's a couple of different teams involved in this fight. SWAT 69, LTK, Kurd Squad, they're all in this.
3 teams, 3 potential firefights going to be coming out, and at the moment, LTK at the disadvantage, but they are going to be able to pick him up, yeah.
There's also another fight happening just off screen. We'll talk about that in a minute. Red Bull! Oh, wish he had some wings there. He couldn't fly away fast enough.
That's what happens when you're not aware of your surroundings. He didn't realize it was in an open window there, so KS were able to just rail on him from a distance there, and now he's going to be down, and his teammate's going to have to pick him up. But HeadHunterrs, we talked about them getting in the action, and they've done exactly that.
Up against AXT, it's looking a lot like last game for sure. Ray, meanwhile, manages to get another knockdown. LTK, that's 3 knocks. If Slom goes down, that's going to be it. And they went out so early last time. This is disaster for LTK.
Yeah, they have to try and survive it, even if it is just running away with Slom, but then he'll join the crew of players who are just trying to stay alive for their team, and we're going to be seeing KS in the top left actually get a couple of these finishes, and also SWAT69 joining in and trying to get these kills. But good news, Bears, we're going to be seeing KS get a couple of kills, and it's going to be good for them. But HeadHunterrs did knock one over AXT, but he has managed to be picked up and has... Oh, no, sorry, he did die. So they got the kill on
It's a 4v3, but look at what Lord's doing, trying to wrap around the opposite side. There's a couple of interesting fights going on here, but they're all towards the edges of the circle, and they're going to have to move here as another one comes in. Hey, Dino Park is still on, but this is a very open circle.
Yeah, there's a lot of places for people to move into, and Urge may have an opportunity to get
this is a 1v1. It's a 1v1. Modra had no idea. Vomit, oh my goodness. IQM's still alive.
Out of all the teams to fight each other, how does that happen where you're just in a 1v1 there?
Yeah, well, I wish he'd had his teammates with him for sure. Now, meanwhile, Kraken, he isn't at high ground. He maybe wishes he isn't right now because Groza's just taking shots as the tree is not adequate enough cover. He has to go make a run for it. Groza doesn't take him down, though.
Yeah, and he has to be careful because they're outside the circle right now, so they're going to be taking a lot of damage, and in about a minute, the circle will start closing. And look at this, they're in the same building. Rush to Crush and TUB.
Nobody moving just yet. Rush to Crush mostly on the lower levels here as TUB are a little bit higher up, so the breach will be coming in. And Rush to Crush did this on Vikendi in their first map to great success. It was the best performance we saw out of them on day number 1 of the group stages. Can they make it happen again? Great one through the window, but that's just a smoke. If it was a frag, it would have been great. Nasser's going to get taken down. My goodness, Rush to Crush are just coming through here, hot right now. And TUB, they just stand firm and say, you will not breach this house.
You shall not pass.
Thank you, Gandalf. And Rush just tries to make a few more fights happen. He does manage to get a double knockdown. That means that Rush to Crush are still alive in this one, but they've got to make moves very quickly here. Hiding behind. The smoke actually paying some dividends here. Rush, he might be able to get one knock, and he's going to get it. Can he stay alive in this one against TUB? This is actually huge. Rush, he could clutch it. Oh, he does!
Oh my God!
I can't believe that just happened.
He's going to be able to pick up all his teammates, and that's all thanks to the fact that that last player there on TUB, I think it was 613, just rushed in, guns blazing. Unfortunately, because he didn't know where he was, he wasted all of his mags. So when it came to actually shooting the player he saw in front of him, he had to reload. So he was out of luck and out of life, and now out of the game.
I can't believe that happened.
Oh.
I mean, we were talking about TUB being Gandalf, but apparently Rush to Crush with a Balrog there.
Hey,
it just dragged him down. Now, he did manage to stay alive, so that does mean, as you said, the full res comes up for Rush to Crush, so starting to see a little bit of hope for this team. Meanwhile, back to the AXT versus HeadHunterrs fight. This one's going across the gorge here. HeadHunterrs got a couple of low-health members inside that compound, but Lord does not have a good sight on him.
Yeah, I mean, Lord being one of the players who has to do a lot of making up here. They've also lost one player, so they need to be able to get the kills. They are going to be able to get the vehicle over, but Rotel going to be taking the shots.
Yeah, he is opening up, but you can see the babe Dr. Savage doing the exact same thing, but he's making good use of that limited cover behind the tree. And it's going to be HeadHunterrs that have to move first. The blue is at their backs.
This is when you need a scope and a sniper and being able to lock down that position. Unfortunately for them, they haven't got either.
Meanwhile, 7T have found KS, and that is bad news bears for Ebo and the rest of the squad. They get wiped out in 13th place.
What a position to get knocked out in. And the fact is, we're going into the fourth circle in a moment, and there's still so many teams left alive, 12 in total, even if there isn't all their members left alive. And now, AXT going to have the circle on top of them, but HH going to be fighting in
Look at this
from the
clown's
circle.
not moving. He's not moving at all. He says,
joking
that's
around.
fine. I've got myself some health. Going to try to knock it out again. This next circle will come in shortly. Still 12 teams alive. As you can see, Julius gets knocked out.
This was a second knock at least for these guys, so every single one of these knocks is just going to be pushing them further to the edge here.
And a more central circle again. Just about all of it on land here. Might be at Movatra where we end this one, but it's still a pretty open space. Meanwhile, Dr. Savage going to look to run around here over the opposite side, and he gets dropped down by Lord. AXT with superior positioning are making HeadHunterrs pay.
This is an interesting situation for AXT. They want these frags and they want to be able to try and knock out this team, and they're willing to play inside the blue for this, and have to give them props for this. If they got a couple of grenades, they could just win this very easily.
And this is AXT in a nutshell. They are a very frag-dependent team. They get good positioning a lot of the times, but they still rely on getting a lot of those kills. And there's another one. The Babe is not just going to get knocked, he's going to get eliminated completely. Clown is doing so much job here, not making a single sound. Doesn't matter if he's got those bouncy shoes. He's able to take out one and another. Looking for a third here. The last remaining HeadHunterr's member turns it on him, but not before Nightmare gets dropped by Lord.
Okay, AXT, I've got to give them props there. They played fantastically as a team. They've got each other's backs. They went in for the trade, so Clown went down, but the return came in from Lord, saving his teammates back. And now we're going to be watching LTK try to run in here, the last remaining player, somehow still alive right now. And then in the distance, we see the last remaining VW player as well, if I'm right in saying.
Uh-oh, Slum is heading straight for SWAT 69.
You hate to see it.
He might be able to sneak around, though. We'll see if he's able to do it. We still have 11 teams alive, but as you mentioned, there's just a couple that only have 1 or 2 players left up. And this is the crazy thing. We get into this almost 20-minute mark, and there's still more than 10 squads up. That's crazy.
What I do like seeing is we've actually now got a couple of teams who have been playing on top of these roofs. And I mentioned it, I think, yesterday, that it is possible to jump out one of those windows, land on the roof, and still just play around there. And you have such a fantastic viewpoint and advantage point on these other players. And that's exactly what we're seeing today. So, you know what? Maybe they're listening.
Maybe they are. Here's Purge, last remaining member of IQM. Another situation where a squad gets wiped pretty early, and he's going to try and be the hero. Slom going to try to do the exact same thing for LTK. He's already left this house, but he's running sideways up against the blue, and now we see why. Dabai's got him trained in the crosshairs here.
He took a ticket, and unfortunately, 6-9 SWAT have his tickets.
Ooh, smoke's down. Gonna do 2. Oh! Gotta be careful there, Slom.
Yeah, so the blue is actually going to help him here. He's going to be pushing these guys further away, so he's going to have a bit of an easier angle, but as I say that, he goes down.
Yeah, Slom coming through, and he finally gets dropped. That's LTK going out in 11th place. Real rough ride for them today. They had such a solid performance in previous weeks, previous days, but it's just not happening here. First on Sanhok, now Vikendi.
Yeah, and we're actually going to be seeing 70 finally having to sort of rotate slightly. Only just. They got pretty lucky in these sort of circles. I say luck is actually pretty good sort of just positioning from them. And, ooh, finally, SWAT 69 going to be picking up 2 vehicles instead of playing in the danger zone of having only 1 vehicle in the rotation.
That's what we like to see, for sure. Speaking of rotations, AXT with 3 members up are going to do the same thing. Didn't even see Demon in that last fight. I think he'd actually already been taken out.
Yeah, he actually died to HeadHunterrs a little bit earlier on. He was knocked, and that's why I called out. But unfortunately for him, he was actually finished off by HeadHunterrs, who managed to get 1 kill, but that's about it. A little bit disappointing on their side, but SWAT 69 crashed the compound of LND. Now they're going to be fighting up against the squad of Faker.
Yeah, Loot 46 not too far away from this as well. We still keep in picture what's happening with IQM's last remaining member. But meanwhile, this is going to be a pretty big fight. Good Molotov around the side, forcing Ray and Groza away. Yes! LND! Oh, it's going to be the last Light Pirates member. Takes down Purge. Says, hey, that's our strat.
Where's his dancing? He needs to dance.
He's got better things to do right now, but LP's still alive and in this with IQM taken out now. Ray looking to peel around here. There's Molotov inside the house. It means L&D are going to have to move a little bit over to the side. Drug's already down to half his health bar.
Yeah, he was on fire. I mean, drugs are bad, okay? So he has to be very careful on how he plays this. He's going to have to heal up and try and get back into that fight and help his team out. And they're in one building, which is not good for them because they can get rushed by SWAT 69. And you know what? They just scream SWAT at the door and enter.
Dragon, last remaining member of VW, trying to go around into this hut, but I think UN might have caught wind of him.
He's actually not.
No, you're right. There's 2. I forgot they kept splitting.
I forgot about that. There is him and the other player, Smeg as well.
They might actually, dude. This might be the reunion of the century.
They're so close.
They were so far away on the map earlier.
I mean, if you're his teammate, do you go and help him, or are you just like, nah, mate, I'm okay?
Oh no, they're gonna have to though. Look at this breach coming in here. UN are closing in, and oh, they were so close, but so far away.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Oh man,
SMG actually took a couple of shots there, I think.
He did.
Oh no.
Man, they were so close to reuniting.
Okay, that was actually some really nice positioning from L&D there on the inside of the circle there when it comes to Favor, and SWAT 69 have to push in a little bit harder. But unfortunately for SWAT 69, they're going to have the UN knocking on their back door very soon.
Yes, they will. However, look at where the circle is currently. This next one will be encompassing just a tiny bit of the eastern side of Mavatra, where the rest of the teams are starting to converge. You can see 17 in position first, already looking a lot better than they did the last time around. We'll check in with this L&D versus SWAT 69 matchup here as Loot 46 look on from the outside. Drugs has managed to heal himself back up. Ray's a little bit low here, but here's the push.
He's able to stay alive right now. He's trying to peek in for these headshots.
Dangerous. So many bullets coming in his direction. They know exactly what position he's in. The rest of L&D playing back. Faker drops down outside the house. Meanwhile, UN gonna be getting a couple of tunes on as they drive away. Single car.
Kind of a bit dangerous here. They are just sitting in the car.
Is that the Guile theme?
Is it? I'm not sure.
Not quite, but it sounds a bit like it.
SMG was actually really close to him. If he got a single grenade on that car, boom.
Yeah.
And he gets his revenge and he gets 4 kills.
We don't often see a big like 4K car blow for sure, and this might change if they stick inside of that one. But for the time being, haven't been found out just yet. Looks like L&D are bailing away. Meanwhile, Rush to Crush going in onto 17. Reef already dropped a little bit low here, and it looks like he's managing to get an outplay onto Damu. Rush already low, but Control is already going to get knocked down to his feet, and it's going to be a big split fight. But Rush to Crush finding another knock. That's Reef down. Rush, meanwhile, he gets taken out of this one. And I don't know if Rush to Crush were expecting that fight, but they certainly are looking to win it. It's going to be Nessa, the last one standing.
Oh.
And he's going to go down 17. They're battered, they're bruised, but they're not out of this one. But the UN comes a knocking right now. It's going to be starting with 1 knockdown. Fazza, he's going to be the last man for his own team, trying to get even more. It's going to be a 1v2 situation here as he runs around the side. Mims is going to be trying to do even more, but he's down to half his health bar right now. And this is a tense one. The knock again. UN down to a single member. It's a 1v1.
And L&D coming in from the side, going to be third party and a fourth party in this at the same time.
This is absolute carnage right now. This is chaos inside this house. Bonemer is scared even to peek here, and that means 70 are going to be able to try and get a couple of members up. It looks like he tries to unload, but he's taken out. 70 get the elimination.
And so now that he's going to have to try and fight L&D, who are so close, and in the meanwhile, AXT going to be fighting a couple of players here. It's going to be SWAT 69 they're trying to take on. And we can hopefully flip back to the other team in a moment.
I think I could breathe again, man. That was an insane fight here. SWAT 69 and AXT are now going to be locked in combat while there's a Molotov down just on the outside. Fazza does get taken out by Faker, so L&D have decided to come and try and clean up. And I think that's actually the elimination. 7T get knocked out in 7th, or yeah, 7th place.
7T going out in 7th place, but LP is still alive and kicking.
I can't believe this.
Unfortunately, he's going to the danger zone right now, right next to L&D, which is not where you want to be. He has to be careful because I'm fairly certain he actually ran away from L&D in the past. So he needs to be a bit careful from these. AXT in the meantime, under fire and scrutiny from SWAT 69, who have succeeded in killing, I think, at least one of the players of AXT.
Just Lord and Clown up now. Oh boy, this is going to get real tough as the circle continues to shrink. We're down to 16 players on 6 teams. SMGM, of course, going to be popping himself a couple of pills there, just hiding behind that cover. A couple of teams that have survived this far with only 1 player. I can't believe it. LPI, man, into the top 6 position after getting near wiped in the beginning.
And VW is actually in a really good position, but in a moment he's going to have a couple of teams push in on him, and that's going to be LND and also LP.
I think LND could take this.
Yeah, I think LND are looking really strong here.
After last game especially, like they go out into 6th place, and you know, it's not the best, but it's certainly not the worst position you could be in. Right now they can only improve there. Lord opening fire up onto Moha.
That was actually a really good nade. Unfortunately didn't quite land. Moha trying to get behind this rock, trying to get some cover. AXT trying to stop them out, but you know what? LND have now taken notice of this fight, and they will be looking to take them on if they can. Yeah,
they're getting well within the circle at this point, just on the outside of it. You can see Loot 46 have actually lasted quite a while by virtue of just not ever having to fight anybody.
Unfortunately, yeah.
That's about to change.
Yeah, that's going to change, and it seems like they might be taking the fight over towards AXT, which would be good, because 46 are definitely not an aggressive team, and there's actually shots coming in from Ray.
Yeah, he's going to get Faker knocked down. Drugs as well. Great job by the SWAT 69 All-Star. Groza, though, he's going to get dropped in. Ray, he ducks inside the house here. AXT starting to open up a little bit of fire, turning it around.
And Riot's going to get knocked as well, so that's only one remaining player left alive on LND.
Yeah, we must have jinxed him.
Caster's Curse coming in, and now 46 trying to fight AXT at the same time. So AXT coming under scrutiny from all angles. They're all stuck in one corner, and the grenades are coming.
Yeah, they're not quite finding the mark, but they are doing a little bit of damage right now. Issa is actually going to be able to take down SMGM, and that's the 5th elimination, so 6th place ends up going to VW. And Light Pirates, they just keep trimming that score, man, cleaning up the fights.
What a fantastic play coming in from LP, making it all the way down into 5th position minimum. And to be honest, I think they're going to be able to make it into the top 4 or
Third
3.
team that he's been able to just finish the last player up. But let's see how this one goes down into the final 5. Needle is going to get dropped down by Ray, still unloading. The last 2 members of AXT looking to breach in here on 46's house. Here comes Ray, but he bites off way too much. And he didn't expect everyone from L&D to be posted up there. He gets dropped down, not finished yet, but Moha is the only man standing from SWAT 69. That might have even been a bit of a sacrifice there, because there are 2 downed members of L&D, but make that 1 now as Needle gets back to his feet.
And now AXT looking to punish 46 for their intrusiveness on their fighting. Now L&D managed to take out SWAT 69, and
You
there's
gotta be kidding.
only 44 teams left alive. And Isa seems to be taking a couple of shots, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
Isa?
no, he wasn't. I thought he would. If he just chucked 1 nade, that would have been second.
It's L&D and 46 right now, man. This is going to be a pretty rough fight here because L&D, even though they're a stronger team overall, they're down in members, but AXT are creeping up on them. Rodal! He gets down there by Hazim! Turns it around. There's still Clown. There's actually still 2 more members remaining of AXT, which means Rodal should get rezzed up here. And the nades, they're coming a little bit too far here, so it looks like Coach is going to try to get it down. Gets one onto 0. Lord gets knocked as well. It's actually a very close one right now. They're going to go for the finishers instead.
They need every single point they can, and they're going to be going in for the push. Another knock, and almost another. Clown is going to be very low on HP, but so is Movement. He's going to go down, and now it's going to be down to Zeko. He gets the headshot, he gets the kill. 2 teams left to remain, and guess what? It's the dancing Pirates, not plural because he is by himself, and it was actually Movement from Team 46 that wiped out L&D earlier on. I'd missed it, but what a fantastic play coming in from 46. From
This
0
is insane.
to heroes here.
Both of these teams, we started the day thinking we want to see more from them. LP, after nearly getting knocked after a chicken dinner in round 1, managed to stay into the top 2 positions. And Issa just, at this point, you can just relax. You're in a 1v4. You can literally only do better, and that's going to be it. They get taken out in 2nd place. But how about this? Loot 46 are the winners of Vikendi.
With 6 kills, I think that definitely does sort of double their points what they've got from kills. So pretty impressive play coming from them, and LP as well. Being able to get 2nd place in total 24 points is just so impressive. I've got to give massive props to them. And AXT as well, they played really well. They took out the whole of HeadHunterrs, but then unfortunately they just weren't able to take the purchase onto SWAT 69, backed away from the fight, and ended up getting killed by Team 46.
Yeah, and honestly, at the end of the day, 46, they played very smart. They avoided a couple of confrontations. They managed to only take the ones when they were already stronger, wiped a couple teams off the map, picked some respectable kills for themselves. The big surprise for me is, again, 7T going down outside of the 5th place position. So if you're TRD right now, you're just kind of like, you're just happy about this. You are in a very safe 1st place.
Yeah, I mean, it may not be any sort of prize pool for it, but it's still that honor.
Not yet, anyways.
Yeah,
Numbers 2.5 million once we get a little bit further down the line, of course.
A little bit further down the line, and you're going to be playing for a hell of a lot more than just your honor on that front. But definitely quite an interesting situation. 7T go out in 7th place with not many kills either, so it's not going to be very favorable for them because they were stuck in a, actually I think it was the 4th team that came in and wiped them.
Now I think it's worth noting that some of the best play we've seen out of them has been on Erangel, so we'll see in the next 2 maps how that actually goes down, but this was still a big surprising one for me. Let's take a look at how everything all began, because it was HeadHunterrs that actually go in onto IQM, and only 1 player of their team ended up living to tell the tale.
And that was going to be Purge eventually, who we will see.
You went chase down Mustafa. I forgot about that.
UN were a beast this game. Got to give them mad props. And oh, look at SWAT 69. They were on fire as well today. They took a lot of shots on people. It'd be interesting to see their head-to-head, the damage values coming out here.
Yeah, Purge did manage to get at least 1 elimination for his own team as we check back in with Rush to Crush. And this was an absolutely nutty fight here because TUB, they kind of high-fived their way into danger. The smoke proved to be absolutely pivotal, and Rush just cleaned house. Once again, we finally see Rush to Crush stepping up where it counts. Not nearly as impressive as it was on day 1, but that's easily their best performance since the last time we saw them on Vikendi.
Yeah, and another really strong sort of performance coming out from AXT, and especially sort of Clown and Lord here, grouping up together and being able to back each other up here. Clown by himself downs 2 people, ends up going down to the last player there, but he gets picked up, and then Isa.
Oh, it's too easy. No idea he was there. So Isa managed to knock off a couple of teams and get his team into that second place position. Greatly played there. And this was that crazy fight. 7T, rush to crush. Everybody starts getting involved. 7T would eventually win that one, but here we check back in with AXT as they look good. And Ray, he runs right forward, just getting that information, but he got taken down a little bit too quickly.
Yeah, he did end up getting 1 kill, but died for his glory there. Now, Team 46 Loot, who do manage to kill LND, are then embroiled in a fight with AXT, and they do manage to get them, and that's going to be a GG well played to them.
Yeah, top kills go to LND's Faker, actually. Not a huge surprise with that team, but considering how fast they went out at the very start of that fight, at the end, it was a little bit surprising for sure. Rush to Crush, their team member Rush, kind of the titular player, managed to get those 4 off that big fight earlier on, and then we see it's a lot of AXT, 7T members. No big surprises here on the kill leaderboard.
I mean, I'm kind of surprised that they managed to get that many kills. I mean, 4 kills on 2 of them and 3 on another. That's really impressive. I'd be interested to see how many kills they got in total. We can't tell, but let's have a look at 46 versus 17.
Yeah, normally we would see this go one side and the other direction, but even though there's a lot of kills on 7 Reef, all the same, 46 Loot walk away with the chicken dinner. You can see the big difference in the standings and the match points that are awarded. A lot of damage by 7T because they were involved in, once again, a number of big fights.
Yep.
So even though these two teams never actually met openly, it'll be cool to see how they fared up against one another.
Yeah, I mean, 11 kills is pretty good, and I'm talking about pretty good.
Oh, my goodness, Reef, yeah.
Once again.
Well, he is a big carry player, right? 4 kills, 2 headshots, a lot of distance traveled as well. This is the thing. 46 Loot didn't actually have to go very far because they played the circle incredibly well.
Yeah, they managed to get in the circle. I mean, 7T also played it very well, but unfortunately, they then got stuck in a massive fight because so many teams were rotating from that direction. And then look at it. Look, 199 damage, 161. Still both really low considering they both got really high kills. 3 kills and 4 kills is a lot for that damage.
Yeah, now Moomin is one of those players on 46 that we usually see as one of the last members standing, so it's not surprising here for me at least to see his numbers being pretty good. I believe he did get knocked in that fight with AXT, but they got him back on his feet. Alush didn't really have as much to do in this particular one. I think he might have actually gone out early because his distance coverage is a lot less.
Yeah, he must have done, and then also the same with Control. He only does 86 damage, and then instantly, obviously, died to that. So didn't really get any sort of distance in that last sort of matchup here. It's going to be Zeko versus Fazar, and Fazar was playing really good in that sort of compound fight they had, and managed to pick up 3 kills, which is the same as Zeko.
Meanwhile, Zeko, yeah, he really had that clutch performance up against AXT in one of those not quite finishing fights, but really close to it. So at the end of the day, I think Zeko was a big standout. Moomin as well, but all the same, we finally see Loot 46 really come into their own here. Incredibly smart play on Vikendi. They get a lot of points. We said at the start of today we wanted to see more from this team. Well, that was it, and you better believe it.
They were outside the bubble, and now it looks like they're actually going to be able to creep up in. We will see that very soon on the standings, but...
Speaking of standings, you can find all that information, up-to-date stuff as well, including all of our player rosters over at clubopen.pubgmobile.com.
There you go, link right down there. Go copy that one down there,
yeah,
and you
just
can find them.
Go there.
And
it's a good website. Yeah.
And if you want to see a few of the highlights, because there's going to be a lot from today. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
We've seen LP come in, and we've also seen 46 Loot. 2 of the teams I wouldn't have really called out to actually get the win. And if you want to see some of those highlights, there is a place dedicated to these videos.
Of course, you can go to youtube.com/PUBGMOBILE Esports. Don't forget to smash that subscription button. And, of course,
ding dong, that notification bell.
Boom, just so you don't miss a single minute of the PUBG Mobile action. But we have got to go on a short break. When we return, we will be doing one of 2 Erangels to close out the night. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a bit.
Absolutely beautiful.
Zombie, Darkest Night, the newest mode in the zombie universe, is here. This time, the rules are different. No more parachuting, as players will be placed at random locations on the map when the match begins, and there is no single winner. Players must work with their teammates to spend one long night in the match and stay alive until the sun comes up. Waves and waves of zombies will spawn during each of the 3 foggy periods at night, and supplies should only be scavenged when the fog fades. The main objective is not to defeat other players, though this doesn't mean they are harmless. Players may need to work with other teams when necessary, but should also watch their backs in case the Fragile Alliance goes south. This will be a unique experience for every player involved. This new mode also comes with a passive skill for every player. Understanding these skills will be the key to staying alive in this long night. Can you ride out the night?
Play PUBG Mobile for free.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, once again to the PUBG Mobile Club Open. I am still Pyrotechnics. He is still Tom Wee Freeman Pickering. And if you're wondering why I said his entire name and not mine, well, it's just because it just sounds so good together.
Because he's a gentleman. That's the real reason there, Devin.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Don't lie about it.
Thank you very much. Good stuff. You know what else was good stuff? That last round. I cannot believe it. Surprise victory for 46 Loot. But Light Pirates, once again, one man, one mission, one second place finish. How about that for LPI?
The Dancing Pirates do it again. Well, Dancing Pirate, I guess.
He didn't dance this time, though. He was quiet as a mouse because he didn't want to give away his position. So they know when to dance and when to hold back.
They were dancing so much yesterday, but we've not actually seen them use a single emote today, so I kind of just look stupid.
I feel like our meme is falling to pieces, man. This is unfortunate.
You know what? Hopefully they do dance today because they have reasons to. They played fantastically there.
Two great finishes today.
Yeah,
a chicken dinner, a second place, a decent number of frags when they really haven't been able to pick too many up. And here is what results from it. Still sitting in third place position, but the Light Pirates are actually creeping up on 7 Reef Team, who have had a pair of abysmal performances.
Ooh.
Totally out of character for them, to be honest. And now you start to see the rest of these teams creeping up. Executor still in 4th place as well. And L&D also coming up into 6th.
Yeah, I think this is actually probably one of the highest scores on the leaderboard so far. But just jumping back to 7 Reef, they're currently 10 games in, 2 games ahead of the TRD, and they're still behind on points. But moving on from that, L&D...
They're still doing well, right?
Yeah,
like,
doing
obviously,
well,
they're not a bad team by any means, but we're seeing a bad performance out of them today, which is really surprising.
I'm sorry, but I just actually realized like the Light Pirates are actually keep it up and about to catch up with 7 Reef. If they carry on like they're playing, LP could actually just carry on.
And they actually have more placement points at this point.
Yeah.
Like, whereas you look at the big difference, it's all coming from kills. 7 Reef Team has 71 frags, which is the second most, of course, in the entirety of this tournament. Now we take a look at 9th through 16th place. You start to see KS. They're still in 9th place. They've had a couple of rough games as well, but I do think they're going to not be too worried about it. SWAT 69 coming in, performing clutch as well. Into the 12th place they go.
Yeah, no, we kind of expected a bit more from them in the fact that we wanted them to do better because we wanted them to move away from their comfort zone, not just being a well-rounded team. We wanted them to go for those frags and
standouts. Yeah,
they've had a couple, but they are a game behind a couple of the other teams as well. They've only got 9 games played, very similar to IQM, who also went down to 1 player who was then taken out by LP in that last game.
That's familiar territory for IQM, though, right? They're always in that, and they managed to get themselves so many placement points off the back of it. They're still in 11th.
Yeah, and it's not too bad. It's inside the bubble, so they're very very fine on that front. Well, actually, this is the bubble here, right next to these guys. Team Rush to Crash have to be very careful what they're doing here, but more so on the Tubbs side and also ViaWar.
Yeah, that's true. They're the ones who are dropping closer to the bottom right now, and we see 46 Loot move all the way past the bubble into a relatively comfortable 18th position for themselves because you see where the split off is really between, like 21, 22 and down further the line because at about 80 points, you're in a relatively safe position, and they're just blown completely past that with a chicken dinner finish. Here's 963, kind of our underdogs from yesterday. We want to see more out of them when they get their next rounds, and an SB who've only played 4 of their matches, didn't show up for 4 of them, are going to have to put in some extra work if they want to qualify now.
Yeah, and they have actually got 18 kills, so they weren't a joke. They were able to get those frags, but unfortunately not able to turn up to the actual matches is going to be a
That's
big,
not going to help, right? Like, you don't get any points if you don't show up, unfortunately. So we'll see more out of them when we see the rest of the groups face off. Remember, this is groups A and D. We still have B and C to play tomorrow before we get our final results. But for the teams playing today, this is the last chance before the semifinals. So if you are one of those bubble squads, you need to show up now. 46 Loot just said, all right, what else you got?
Yeah, and I mean, a big thing on 46 Loot, which I was discussing with you earlier, was the fact that they actually finished off, Moomin finished off LND, which was massive. It changed the whole course of the end of that game because it meant that LND weren't able to revive each other, and it meant that they weren't in the contention for that top spot.
Right.
So pretty much 46 won the game thanks to that play.
Yeah, because AXT were kind of keeping them under fire, but they didn't have the numbers to make it work. And when it counted, 46 Loot were actually able to execute. And then it just came down to Issa being like, all right, I surrender. I'm the last man standing. And they just took him down. Easy as you like. 4 members strong, still getting that chicken dinner. And that was the impressive performance from a team that up until that point, we didn't really see much out of them at all. I mean, we were doing our notes, and we got down to 46 Loot today in the pregame and just said, you know what do we say about this team? Because they always engage in early firefights. They always seem to die. And this time, they turned it around completely. And if you want to see the history of how that all went down and also the schedule going forward, don't forget to check out our website at clubopen.pubgmobile.com. You can find up-to-the-minute standings and information, including news on all of our squads.
Yeah, and there are special sort of highlights on that website, which then link through to the YouTube, specifically where you can find all these highlights.
Very good point. That is youtube.com/PUBGMOBILE Esports. Don't forget to smash that subscription button. And, as Tom likes to say,
Ding dong that notification bell.
so you don't miss a single moment of the action. But, of course, you are now watching on YouTube, so you probably already knew that.
Watching, learning, and hopefully having fun, because there's been a lot of interesting plays. We've got the Dancing Pirates, or not so Dancing Pirate, right at the end there, who was trying to sort of stay alive, singing that song by the Bee Gees, and trying to get it in there.
You were trying to get it in there, and you managed it finally. Good job, Tom.
Yeah, Dancing Pirates, not so dancing there. But I was thinking about singing it, but I thought I'd save the headphone users there a little bit of a treat. So maybe next time.
Well, we'll see if LPI get another one. I mean, that's the thing. Like, they've now had a first and second place finish. And
I'm so impressed.
That is the crazy thing. They've actually got within spitting distance of 7 Reef Team. And we were looking at those two squads, TRD and 7 Reef, at the start of today thinking, okay, they may be in different groups, but these are so far two major standout teams. TRD have completely lived up to that across their 8 games. We'll see them play again tomorrow. But 7 Reef on Sanhok and now Vikendi have fallen short. Where's that big highlight play that we were expecting? We saw that last time out of Reef on Erangel. We are going back to Erangel. Tom, do you still have faith that 7T can do it?
Yes, because it's very much the fact that TRD are consistent as player, like across the whole team. They don't have one standout player. They have a standout team, and they played together very well across all maps. They won Vikendi and Sanhok yesterday, and then they came second in both the last games in Erangel. 7T, I think they're just consistently better on Erangel.
And as individual players,
And because of the way Erangel was set out, and it's a much more familiar map for a lot of these players, I think they should be performing better on here. But I just want to throw it to HeadHunterrs. They actually came, third in the first game?
Yeah, in that first one they ended up in the 3rd place position. But this time, not quite so good.
Yeah, they dropped right out of the ball there, unfortunately, to AXT, who did manage to... HeadHunterrs managed to kill, I think it was Demon a little bit earlier on in the fight, which we did actually miss. But then they got wiped by AXT. They were like, you killed one of ours? We're going to get you back for that. And they did exactly that.
Yeah. And that's the thing. AXT is definitely a scary squad. Like, we've seen them time and again be able to play out in these, like, breach situations where it's just, like, one house versus another, and they go in. Or sometimes they just defend it out. They're great shots, and they're so such a scary threat to be contended with. And you got to think they're playing with a passion right now, especially because they're having to come back in after losing some of their points to the ruling. They're going to have to pick up as many as possible. They're still in a fairly safe position to qualify, so there's really no doubt that that'll happen. But we'll see, going forward how it all shakes out for them, because one of those teams you definitely wouldn't want to be facing down in terms of a straight-up fight is AXT. TRD kind of being the obvious other one, but they're not, of course, competing in this one today since they are in Group B.
And, I mean, one of the things that ended up happening, and you're talking about not wanting to go face-to-face with them, 46 Loot did exactly that. And they actually managed to chuck a couple of grenades at them, wear them down. And because XT had been in so many fights and used a lot of their utility, and they had to back away from the fight near SWAT 69, so they were sort of war-torn and a little bit damaged. They couldn't go full-on aggressive. I think that some of them had lost their body armor, which means that they were a lot easier to take down. So 46 had the position, had the numbers, and had the utility to be able to take the advantage of that. And they did exactly that, and they managed to knock the ball at the park.
Yeah, I mean, step one, right, is being able to win a fight when you have an advantage, because you know that that's the best chance you're going to get, and you can't afford to kind of sit back and not take a fight when there's nobody else there. You don't expect the last remaining member of LPI to do that, for sure. But, the next step is being able to win when you don't necessarily have those odds, when you're forced into a fighting situation that you don't necessarily want to take.
Yep.
Obviously, being able to run away and hide or find a nice spot where no one's going to breach on you, that works well when the circle's big enough. But when it comes down to the crunch time, you've got to be able to make it happen. Yeah,
and AXD had the circle on their back, and they weren't able to rotate away from it, which they had just done with the SWAT 69. Unfortunately, that meant they fell into the clutches of 46 Loot. And talking about SWAT 69, they did a really good push onto L&D, but unfortunately it wasn't good enough. But let's move on to Erangel, the green fields of Erangel, and hopefully sunny as well. The plane's going to be going from Hospital all the way over towards the bottom of Kameski near the fields of Mansion.
Well, it looks like the winter has ended. We are full on into the spring for sure, and we'll see as this plane path goes through where they drop. LPI going out, starting just along the edge here. Now, we've seen a couple of teams actually do that in the past, and it has bitten them in the behind when the circle's not been favoring the western side. But we'll see where everybody else goes.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they're going to be doing the smart thing, picking up a couple of vehicles and rotating down to Primorsk, and maybe even over towards military base, where they have actually dropped a couple of times in the past, but they are going to be contending against LND not a team you want to be fighting early on.
They might drop Gaka.
That's true. They have actually changed position, so it seems like they're not going to be going for that original position, which I think is because they saw Needle and his teammates, and they've actually decided to opt in for a Gatka play, which should be open. A lot of teams dropping out at the moment, a couple are potentially over towards Pachinki.
Yeah, and that's been an interesting one too, because we've had a couple of these teams that we really know like to drop onto Pachinki. One of them was UN, actually. They definitely really like these urban circle areas, so it's no surprise to see them a little closer to there, but it might be a bit crowded. Another place that might be crowded, maybe is Naya. 70 have dropped on top of it, and the circle is bang on center.
Yeah, they're going to have a good time here. They should actually get a higher position purely due to that luck of the circle landing in there.
Ooh.
In the meantime, TUB...
It's already a knock.
Yeah, going to be fighting against RTC here, the rush to crush here over in crates.
All right, so a lot of places to hide, thanks to the crates, the titular crates, if you will. But TUB really trying to get a little bit more points back for themselves here, so we'll see if they're going to be able to do it in these fights. They dropped out very early on in one of our previous rounds.
Yeah, we don't want to see that again from them. They do have an individual skill, but as a team, they are better here. And talking about teams and being better together, that is going to be SWAT 69. They do have individual skill, especially on Ray, who we did see win a 1v1 in their first game on Miramar last week against their counterpart SWAT 69 SWAT, even if they have no real connection to each other.
No, but it was funny that that fight on Miramar came down to a 1v1 between one member on either side of the same team, and that was SWAT 69 getting the better of them. Ray definitely stepping up in the clutch and setting what at the point was a record. 50 points picked up, 30 for placement, 20 for frags, and we're going to center in on the crowd favorites over here by Hospital. This is Kurd Squad.
Hopefully they can perform a little bit better this time. They did get a couple of kills last game, but their positioning wasn't on point. And talking about on point, we're going to be seeing that UN back in these apartments. They managed to take down 2 of TRD last time, yesterday rather, but then died out. Are they going to be able to take on IQM, who are famous for leaving with 1 person left alive?
Well, looks like Hunter was driving a little bit around the compound. He actually hops into the first floor here, but they're far enough away where they don't have to take this fight yet, and we will take a look at Pachinki, where LTK are alone, but meanwhile, back to crates. TUB playing on the high ground, getting punished for it right now. Rush to crush, though. They do have 2 members knocked, so TUB going forward. Mohammed said going as well. Muhammad leading behind the way. Nassar, he's trying to get a knock himself. Meanwhile, Soul Eater's still in the mix as well, and it looks like they will be able to turn it. TUB going for the plays, but they get punished, and it's X. 1S63, the only one left up and alive.
Yeah, so one of the biggest issues for TUB there is they tried pushing very heavily with very low HP. They only had 1 member with 4 HP. The rest of them were under half HP, which is an incredibly bad time to push against a team which happened to have 3 members with 4 HP, or 2 members at least, and they just had the angle to take them on. And look at LP, they have actually gone over towards Military
Of course they
Island.
have. They love this spot, man. They love military circles even more than I do, I think. And they just like hiding it out as best they can for a while. Also because it's a great loot spot, and nobody ever seems to go there.
Yeah, and I mean, it's for good reason, especially with the circle like this, where they are going to have to shift across. Luckily for them, there's no one really taking the full-on tactics of locking down the bridge when the circle isn't on the military circle. We do see it on the actual desktop version where that does happen.
I was going to say, that seems to be one of the biggest differences here between the PUBG mobile gaming meta, at least in the ME region, compared to what we see oftentimes in some of the big matchups on PUBG desktop.
Yeah, I mean, on desktop, you quite often see that if the circle goes away from military zone, we do see teams lock down those bridges to get those kills early on against the teams rotating away from there. But AXT, in the meantime, are going to have to do a bit of rotation themselves. They have landed into Lipovka, which is a pretty nice place for them to be able to loot up. It is actually one of their usual spots, so one of their usual defined areas, and we're going to be now jumping back over towards UN, who have sustained a little bit of damage here.
Just a bit. It's mostly unmimmed. We'll see what IQM can actually do here. They do have a good split position here in the apartments, and it's a good spot as well to be in for the time being, since it's going to be towards the western side of that circle, and it gives them an opening chance to really kind of hang out for a little while, utilizing some of these high vis areas, especially so high up. Look at that level.
One of the big issues is, like, well, I mean, UN are going to drive away for first, but Toom has no head armor here, so him peeking any of these angles is such a danger game. But luckily for him, it doesn't matter anymore, because UN have, like, you know what, we learned from last time, we're not going to risk it.
You know, I was wrong earlier. It's not spring, it's summer, because school's out for UN.
Hey, there we go. Yeah, UN driving away out of that one. And that's going to be fantastic for those guys. They may bump into VW very soon. I
don't know who I favor in this, actually, because UN have been playing really, really well in some of these firefights against some of the more middling teams, VW included, but they employed such a weird strategy last time where they split with all of their members. One of them just dropped in the water and died, might have disconnected there, and Meda is going to open up fire here, but unfortunately, he's just pre-firing. He doesn't actually get a shot on any of the UN members, and he might have given his position away.
Yeah, he let off a little bit too early, and now he's going to be coming under scrutiny from the guns of UN. If he chucks in a grenade, it would be fantastic, but if not, not very good.
The shot on the peaks. He does take half his health bar and damage, though.
That was a
headshot.
headshot.
Back up.
Oh, no, that wasn't a headshot. He's got no body armor. This is a massive issue. He is open to just being dropped instantly from these guys, and he's only got 10 bandages, 9 now, and he's going to get pushed.
Looks like it, and he's dropped down to his knees. Once again, Bonemer on the front line, managing to get that down. The rest of the VW members going to try to come in and get him up, and around the side, nothing doing just yet. UN realize they can push in, and where are the rest of the VW members? There are only 2 in this house.
I don't know, but this last player is in the toilet.
Make that 0.
Oh, he wasn't in the toilet. He was sitting on the sofa like a lazy sod there. So he's actually going to be getting dropped, and that's going to be VW losing 2 members.
Why did they split so hard? I don't understand why VW do this.
You know what? It could be the tactic where they're like, if we spread out enough, one of us might survive.
But that's just assuming you have no ability to win fights.
I think they've actually decided to just opt in for that. If we actually look at their kills later on, we may well just see that be the case. But we are going to be seeing HeadHunterrs push on over towards the Milter power plant, the big one, and AXT have already got presence here.
Yes, they do, and this is not who you want to fight early if you are HeadHunterrs. We were just talking up AXT early on. However, they might be fancying a bit of revenge from the last time. What happened? Clown already opening fire here. Rest of the AXT members still driving about.
Yeah, there's only one of him left here, so he has to wait for his teammates to come in, and that could be the perfect backstab.
But he's got it down! I can't believe it! He did that 1v3 right now, and he's even bandaged up, just never staying in one spot, always stutter stepping it away. I don't think Dr. Savage expected that for a moment.
Oh, and the nade is going to be coming out, but it was too little too late, and now he's going to be peeking against Nightmare, who is inside the building, so he's pretty lucky on that part, but he chucked a second nade, and he should be able to heal up here very quickly.
How about AXT? You can see it in the way Clown plays, just superior at the fragging game. However, HeadHunterrs, they've grouped up together. They're going to get Dr. Savage back on his feet, but you've got to think this is a tough team to go up against. They might have to see their positioning.
Yeah, I mean, for them, they need to run away right now because AXT are coming in and they are frag hungry. They know they need to make up for some games, and we've been seeing some aggressive plays coming out, especially from Clown, who is not joking around. He is wanting to get these frags. Demon was down very early on from HeadHunterrs from earlier, so we may well be seeing him get some revenge. Chucking in the grenade. This could be perfect.
Looking for the breach, Demon. Doesn't even take any damage there, and I don't think they see the nade, but they are going to scatter, so they must have off the other side. Going to tag their way in once more. AXT looking to breach this up, but it looks like HeadHunterrs going to try to go up to the higher level, but you can see Lord and Clown coming in from the opposite side. AXT are looking in such good shape here if they can take out HeadHunterrs.
Julius potentially trying to peek out from outside. The nade going out, but it was actually to...
Oh, hold on a second. Demon and Rodel. They're going to take some fire from Julius around the side as well. They did get down. Rodel does get knocked for a second, though.
I think that's TUB and one of the other teams fighting in the bottom right corner.
69,
yeah.
2 fights going on. Julius is going to peek around the side. Demon, he pre-fires, and he manages to get the knockdown onto Julius. What a great play here. Unfortunately, he gets knocked himself, so all of a sudden AXT losing 2 members here. Not permanently, not just yet, but Rodel's in danger of it. Clown is going to go for a run as Lord wraps around the other side. HeadHunterrs have already lost Julius, but will they lose more here? Nightmare going to get covered by Dr. Savage inside the complex.
Oh, what a fight coming out from HeadHunterrs here. They are doing a lot better than they were before, but they haven't got a finish, and they need to try and do that now. Bap is feeding the information to his team, but no real push is coming in. The grenades coming out from AXT, holding the position. Nightmare now going to be pushing around the corner, but it's not going to be soon enough.
Here we go. AXT, they've got almost all their members up. It's only Demon who's still knocked here. This is not number-wise favoring HeadHunterrs.
And we're going to be seeing one of the players just drive on away, trying to get a new position.
Oh, they're firing on him as well. He's going to get away, just barely.
Dr. Savage didn't even go for those frags. He's now going to have to back away into this building. It's not going to be favorable for him, and they're going to be hunting down.
Yeah, it's going to be it. So HeadHunterrs lose almost everyone here, and no big surprises at the end of the day that AXT managed to make that happen. Last man standing is going to be Nightmare, and he's going to try to play those IQM strats.
And we're going to be seeing LND lose sight of Spot 69, who are driving away into, actually, closer to the blue here, but LND going to be able to stay alive there. And I'm actually really disappointed in HeadHunterrs. They played that very badly when it comes down to it.
Yeah, just tough in some of those fighting situations, really getting outclassed there by AXT. Now LPI are actually going to be moving in a couple of vehicles here, and they might run smack dab into Spot 69, so we might even see some vehicle play here on Erangel.
Yeah, so they're going to be into UAZs and going to be able to rotate up. In the meantime, 46 Loot, who won the last game in a very big surprise of a sort of finale there between those teams. We are going to be seeing a bit of a fight between these cars.
We go in Mad Max Fury Road on this one right now, Tom, but it's 3 cars versus 1, so LP are going to actually pop out of this one and try to light up SWAT 69's couple of cars. And it looks like they're going to lose Issa right now. He does get knocked right away. This is some very long-distance fighting, and the elimination does come through. SWAT 69 using their own car as cover here as they've already popped out. But there are 2 fronts firing down. Ray and Groza already taken down out of this one, and that's the elimination. LPI find a fight.
And they return fire onto them and get the frags, and now that's going to be SWAT 69 out for the count. They finished what LND couldn't. Get all 4 kills themselves, and they're going to be walking away happy. And VW still alive somehow in this part. SMG still just crouching behind that tree, but I think he's going to be dead in the next 10 seconds.
And I got to give some credit once again to the Light Pirates. This time they find their footing when it comes to a straight-up fight. Pedal to the metal in the cars, and they managed to take down SWAT 69. These guys are leveling up before our eyes. Taking a look, though, at this UN versus Rush to Crush fight. There's also one of the VW members. I don't think he fancies taking this, though, because he knows he's going to be a little bit low over here on the side of school.
Yeah, so we do actually have Nassar here with the Car 98 and an 8 times on it as well. So he's going to be able to see his target. Is he going to be able to land the shots, though? That's going to be the real question. I mean, Bunama is going to be peeking him, and he has got a spot. Spagma, SMG trying to get away, but unfortunately, he's going to be knocked out.
He's out of there. So Master's able to take him down. That's the 13th place position here for VW.
No, no, no.
Oh, he's not out yet?
No, I don't think that was.
They
I think
still
he
have
was
another
not.
VW?
I think he was not.
No, I think they finished him off afterwards. No, you're right. There's still another VW member. Actually, because I forgot, this team always splits.
This is why they split, because they know they're not able to fight. So.
They're always playing like they're the last man standing.
But they have really bad luck. They have, like, they're attracted to the other teams.
I mean, yeah, look, the last one's up by 7T right now in Yasnaya.
That is so bad.
Yeah, I'll just go to Yasnaya. There's no way anyone's there, right?
No one's going to have landed here and just stuck around. Well, 7T actually going to be here. Let's have a look at the other position of the teams. We're going to be seeing a couple of fights coming out from a few of them.
Yeah, 46 and AXT here are not too far away from each other now. Normally, I would say this is really bad for Loot 46, but they actually won that last fight, and AXT remember that, so they're leaving Milta.
They're like, you know what, mates? Nah, we're going to get inside the circle.
Ooh, hold on a second. Fire's still opened on here. Yeah, 46 Loot definitely finding their footing for sure in this one. But they don't need to win this fight. UN, they're looking to finish off Rush to Crush in their last 2 members.
Rush to Crush trying to survive here, but unfortunately they took a fight which I don't think they were prepared to sort of really win. They've got now 0 vehicles, and they're going to have to rotate soon enough.
Speaking of rotating, seeing IQM do the same thing here, down to 12 teams. LP, 3 members in a vehicle themselves. Only Issa was the one who got dropped in that fight up against SWAT 69. I think that was the biggest surprise today, that we see SWAT 69 go out so early.
And we've got AXD rotating in 2 vehicles. We had KS there rotating in.
Oh man, those trees are real thin.
Actually themselves, and real thin. They've been on a diet recently. But look at the circle. It has actually pushed, and RTC are actually trying to get away from this position because they know they have to get in. They're probably a bit restricted on meds, and Assad didn't even heal up, so that indicates highly that they don't actually have that many meds. And now the vehicle is going to be coming out for UN, and they're going to be looking to rotate.
It's another thing that UN do pretty well, actually, is good vehicular play. They usually keep a couple on top of them, but R2C are going to have to run for it back over towards school. Got to be careful as they have UN at their backs. Nasser's going to stop up and try to pop himself a couple of pills or maybe just a bandage as they will post up, but they're still taking damage from the circle. Meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and check back in with 7T, who've had a very quiet game, and I think after how the first 2 went down, this is perfectly fine.
Yeah, I mean, still, though, there's still 12 teams left alive, and if they're not careful, once the circle pops, they might have to rotate, and that might be when we see them go out, but the vehicle's going to come up to them.
That's IQM moving their way in, and we'll even see Light Pirates. Now, where are they heading right now?
I don't know. Anywhere on the map, it seems. Anywhere inside the circle.
Well, the fight started. IQM, they've gotten Fazal already down. Control dropped a little bit low, but it looks like Purge is already knocked onto his knees as well. Bit indecisive across the board. Control's going to be able to get another one down, and I think 7T will be able to win this fight, but it's definitely not a sure thing right now. Reef puts Mustafa 6 feet under, and they don't lose anybody, only getting a knock.
That was a fantastic play. Exactly what we want to be seeing from them on their better map. And now AXT going to be bumping heads with LTK. They're playing it, dropping overhead, and a package coming out as well.
Yeah, Mosrem already taking a lot of damage from the AXT members as they really got their sights set on this complex. They want to be able to take it away from LTK. And LTK, they've just not been able to catch a break today, but can they turn it on to AXT? That would start to turn their fortunes around. Meanwhile, we'll even keep an eye on LPI, who are just on the outskirts of this action, but don't fancy taking it.
Actually did a jump there. Took a couple of shots from LND, which is a bit unfortunate for them. In the corner, we do actually see UN Master go down to the blue and actually end up dying. A bit unfortunate for him, and we're going to be moving onwards and over to LTK, who are fighting AXT here.
In Mansion.
Yeah, and I mean, AXT actually have this positional advantage because they can take at different angles. But the circle's now away from them. If we can have a look at that, that would be brilliant. I want to see where it has centered. It's away from Mansion. And this is going to be the M249.
Ooh, yeah, LPI. Going to drive right by that care package. Nobody in sight. They should be able to pop right out and grab it. Assuming that happens, we'll see. But also, we're going to check in with Kurd Squad. They have a couple of vehicles to themselves, or at least the one right now. And I think all 4 members still left up and alive. So a little bit of a split there. And L&D actually managed to find the M249.
Yeah, so LP were trying to stay away from LND. They're pretty much aware of each other on this part.
And they both got vehicles to work with. Oh my god, this is that last
Still
VW
alive.
member here over at Yesnaya. Somehow he avoided 7T because all the chaos came in with IQM, finding the opportunity, and he's just going to be driving through Yesnaya.
Lagging through Yesnaya, whatever. But 7T are going to be able to rotate themselves. Well, you know what?
46
a little bit
loot.
dangerous. They are going to be flipping, and now the fight is going to be ensuing here on top of this mountain. Hill, I guess.
Little house on the prairie. Let's see who comes out ahead here. As AXT coming in. Oh! Zico gets dropped down off the rooftop. Meanwhile, the rest of 7T just come in, guns a-blazing. Azim going to try to throw that grenade off the way, but it looks like they're going to be coming in and deciding to knock him down at the end of it all. And let's see who can take this one out, because one of 7T's members has already been knocked at the start of this one. Fazal going to have to heal himself up on the low ground.
Fazal is looking to maybe push up. He wants to get big with his team. Control's going in.
Lumen does manage to finish one with a nade. This is 3 members of 7T. They need to get more kills. They need to get the placement. But the chicken dinner winners from the last time around will not go quietly into the night. Hazim here, joined by his teammate up on the high ground.
Oh, not again. I'm getting flashbacks of Sanhok.
Looks like it may go that way. Away, Fazal can't get the heal in time. 7T go out in 10th.
What an impressive play coming out from 46 Loot. Once again, knocking down to the second place team in the total standards. But in the meanwhile, back in Warehouse,
LND locked in combat here with UN, and it looks like Faker manages to be the last man standing, and he's going to be able to get all of his teammates back up just in time, though. KS come in, and they finish the job, turning it right around, waiting for the opportunity, so LND go out in 8th.
wow, and they even had that full level 3 gear and the M249, so that's going to be an easy pickup for KS there, topping up their utility there. Now we're going to be seeing the rotations coming out from these teams as the circle closes in.
KS does stand for kill steal after a while, because they managed to just finish off the work that UN started. But turnabout is fair play. How many times we've seen that happen to KS, I don't know. And they've been able to turn it once more. Here, there is still a remaining member of HeadHunterrs. This is Nightmare, and he's just hiding behind a burning buggy.
Yeah, and I mean, talking to the people who took out the rest of his team is going to be XT, now looking to take on another team very soon. And I think that's actually going to be LTK they were shooting down on. They're very close to HeadHunterr's last player there, but in the meanwhile, going to be embroiled in a fight with LTK, who are very center, almost pinpoint on the center of this circle.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it's going to be closing in, and it's going to land on them again.
Oh my goodness. So the only people that don't have to move right now are most of KS and LTK, and they might actually have to as AXT are making their way in. The rest of the squads will be shortly to follow. The last remaining member of VW, 46 Loot as well. Oh no, Demon. He's getting dropped pretty low here. They're quite split out, but there's just no cover, and immediately getting lit up. LTK polishing them off. And meanwhile, LPI just say, guys, creepy and quiet as much as you like. No dancing just yet. Not until we get that chicken dinner part 2.
The biggest difficulty with this circle is there's just no cover. There's not even that many rocks. Clown is at the, I think, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 rocks inside this next circle.
Yeah.
And the rest of it is there's a little bit of warehouse. There's one very, very much open sort of compound which LTK have, and it's impossible to push that because it's so small. It's so easy to cover. And LP are going to have a very difficult time being able to get in here. KS, in the meantime, taking a couple of shots over towards LTK. And now we've got 46 Loot pushing in.
Run into that last VW member here. 9-9 on LTK does take a little bit of damage off the screen, but some of these teams playing close to the blue. Motor's not even going to get up from his spot to take pot shots because he knows there can be a quick turnaround here for 46 blue. Instead, he just creeps around behind, and they're going to post up on this outcrop of rock. 46 Loot playing with some renewed confidence after that long-awaited chicken dinner.
So the position on the vehicles was okay on here, but it could have been done a little bit better, especially as they're now going to be facing the fire from VW.
Yeah, oh, although Red Bull, he nearly gets knocked there in the fight. Very long distance, last man standing from AXT, it's going to be Clown. He's even going to be able to unload onto these remaining members of 46 Loot.
He's just raining hell on them, and thanks to all those smokes, it means that they can't even return fire to him. But the
look
shot's
at
coming in
Modred.
from VW.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. A solo play on a solo player. It's going to be a first aid kit used by Clown here. A little bit of desperation to try and get himself up to that big health mark here. Last man standing for the AXT squad to try and pick up some more points here as there's still 7 places to contend for.
And he's only got 1 first aid kit, so it's a bit difficult. And now 46, VW trying to push in, but it's going to be with great difficulty because he's got his back against the blue, and he's pushing up against the player who should know where he is.
Oh, Clown! He manages to get the finishing blow onto Modred. What a great solo play. He just had the scope up a little bit better, and now we're down to 6 teams.
And now no meds at all for Clown, but look at this, LB snaking their way in. They've done it before, they're doing it again.
Sneaky snakes.
They're inside the circle, and this is actually a really good area. There's a couple more trees and one of those few rocks I talked about.
LTK, they've got the compound, KS as well. We talk about third parties. We got a 4th and 5th still coming through here, and not to mention that last man standing from AXT. Clown is unloading onto 46 Loot, who have no idea where the shots are coming from. And it looks like that's going to be the elimination. 46 Loot down in 6th place.
That's so unfortunate. And they had such a big opportunity on that area, and now KS are going to have a worse opportunity because they're going to have to try and run across the open. I just don't see this working for them.
That feels bad, man. They did manage to make it into the top 5 here, and there's still one of the HeadHunterr's members remaining. Nightmare, he'd been kind of long forgotten by everybody, but now he's doing a little bit of a creep in, and here is the final circle closing in.
LP slowly snaking their way up next to LTK across this field, and if they just stay quiet, they might well be able to get away from it.
He's got a vehicle.
Because KS is going to have to make a lot of noise, and LTK is going to be concentrated on them, allowing LP to potentially snake in here.
If they can all pop into the cop car, though, that might allow them to kind of wrap around and reposition a little bit, even though the circle doing a lot of damage.
I would probably say actually only a couple of them should rotate in this
Yeah,
circle, but
they're
what are they
going to.
doing?
They're not moving. They're not moving.
The vehicle's stuck.
Oh, dear. This is disaster right now for KS. They will peel out eventually, but Nightmare's going to fall to Ari. It looks like they did manage to find him. And here's the wrapper on the side. Light Pirates have to see this one coming, but LTK are going to do the same thing. That car is suspiciously empty, but Kraken is going to get dropped.
And now these snakes are still going to be crawling in. They don't want to make any noise. And this is so far working for them. And Clown may well needs to take the fight here.
Might just run over him. Oh no, they're going to go right behind this rock, and he tries to open up, unload fire. That's 1 down, looking for 2. He finds it! Is that all 3? No, not quite, but he does manage to finish at the end of the day. You gotta be kidding me. He wipes out 1v3 clutch onto KS.
He needed a lot of loot, and he gets exactly that. He was out of meds. He didn't have full HP, but he had 47 bullets in a mag. Managed to take down 2, pulled out his M4, finished off the last person, and now it's going to be 3 teams left alive, and a small amount of players, only 8 in total, to
contend with. Man, it is, 8 players. It's 4 on 3 on 1. AXT's Clown, absolutely the MVP of this game. But if he could manage to do this clutch, this would kind of almost put that 7T play on Erangel last week to shame.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. If he manages to pull this out of the back. Yeah, and it's actually useful for late game cover here because there's very little cover into this circle. So LP still alive right now and has an Orm, which is not really that useful this late in the game. It could be okay, but never nice. It's not the best one. I mean, the armor would be better in this situation, but LP have got a couple of trees, and now the circle is closing, and that'll decide where everyone's going to be playing very soon.
Now, number advantage, definitely going for LTK, and this is the best shot they've had at getting a chicken dinner all day, because remember, the first 2 maps on Sanhok and Vikendi looking so bad here. Aras has pulled the pin on the grenade.
No, he was switching around a gun, but he saw LTK's member Moram. He could actually take the shot, knock down a player, but as soon as he does that, their position is known and the circle closes in, and it's not really in favor of anyone here apart from the numbers on LTK.
Yeah, we'll see what Clown can do because he is a bit of a wild card here. Here's Mojrim's going to go up, and Aras sees him, the trap, the bait, and they don't have an idea of where he's at right now. LTK trying to get his teammate back up, but there's a lot of heavy fire being traded here. LPI, they're snapping the trap shut.
And Clown, he's going for the YOLO moment, and he's now going to have the best position out of everyone. He's almost center. LTK chucking out the grenades.
Looking for it right now. Red Bull undercover. He does manage to find Koro. There's going to be even more nades coming for the time being, but with Slam knocked, that means it's only Red Bull and 9-9 that can really keep making this happen.
Oh, and look at this. The nades now going to be coming in from
Clown! Koro's out of there! 9-9 manages to get the finishing play, and meanwhile, Clown is still in this one as he finds Slam, puts him 6 feet under, and all of a sudden, it's 2 on 2 on 1.
He steals that kill. Somehow LP turning around the game for themselves here.
But AXT, man.
Clown's not done with this one just yet.
He could easily do what we've talked about. He could do the massive clutch and put Reef to shame, but Red Bull is still here, still energized, looking to try and take down a couple of these team members. He's not going to make the same mistake and go over towards that care package, but he is going on the hillside, which is a mistake.
Here's 9-9. He's wrapped around too, but I don't know if he sees Clown in this one. And also, there's 2 LP members sticking close together to contend with. Pin pulled out the grenade for Clown. Decides not to use it. Adrenaline shot going to get popped by Eris.
Which is needed because they're going to be sustaining damage, but 9-9, N9 is so close to these guys. They have to realize this in a moment, but the hillside is not in their favor. They're going to have to push up over this. Clown, if he chucks a single nade, it could take out a couple of these members. He's now going to be pushing. He's spotted him. He's going to go for the spray.
Oh, that snake is not too much in the grass right now. 9-9's taken out of this one, and all of a sudden LTK down to a single member. Well, he's still on his knees, but he's trying to get quickly over to Red Bull, and I don't know if they have the time to res him.
Oh, and
That's
the nade. Who was that?
That was from ours.
Clown.
And Clown even finishes off Red Bull. All of a sudden, we're down to 2 teams. It's 2-on-1. AXT can still take this off the back of Clown.
LP, they go first, second, and now second or first again. This is impressive. Clown, he's trying to find these nades. He's chucking them. He's got
Those
so
are
many.
all the KS nades that he was able to pick up off the 1v3 clutch. RS and Hama know that this is going to be tough. They may have the numbers, but they are outgunned.
Hey, bada, swing.
So close right now. They need to use one for bait. Who's the better shot? Hama, Aras.
They just need to split, go wide angles, and then just wait for the fight to ensue. And then when one goes down, go for the other. Now the smokes are going out, but they know exactly where he is.
Aras is a little bit low here. Clown just keeps on chucking him right now. I think these are smokes.
Yeah, they are. This is a really good play from him. And they've got 7 kills in total.
Still got another one.
Most on him, actually. I think he's probably got all 7 of these kills. Not all 7, but probably a good majority, maybe 5 or so on
He's
himself.
just smoked up the entire hillside.
This is just ridiculous, and he's going to be able to get an angle, but he's being spotted. LP!
And that's going to be it! LPI, they do it again, a double chicken dinner! I can't believe it, man.
They have to be dancing right now, and that was not a joke of a game for them. They managed to get 7 kills.
No, they weren't clowning around, but neither was AXT, man. 10 kills in total for them, 7 on him alone. He clutches incredibly against KS and LTK in what was going to be their best performance so far. It really was today, but they still only get that 3rd place finish.
Yeah, and only 5 kills in total for them as well. A good amount of points, but LP once again just shining through. They came first, they came second, and now they've come first again. They're really coming out light, and you know what? They may well be catching up with 70. 70.
I think they will.
70 are going to be able to stay, I think, just ahead by a couple of points. I think.
I think you're right, but still, that was a 10th place finish for 70, so they get almost nothing in terms of points on that one.
I think
going to be very close.
I think it's going to be 5 to like 10 point difference between them.
And then the next game goes the same way. I mean, I think that's really where it starts to turn around. We'll see when the scoreboard gets updated, but here are the highlights of the game. VW and UN started the action off with a bit of a fight, and this was Clown, the eventual hero of AXT, starting
MVP.
to light up HeadHunterrs.
MVP. Clown has to be the 100% MVP for me on that front. He played fantastically in that battle against HeadHunterrs, and he came through at the end as well. Demon playing very well against these guys as well, and HeadHunterrs leaving with only 1 person left alive there. LP in the meantime.
Yeah, this was a great play for LP. They managed to take down all of the SWAT 69 members, only losing Issa, who was the hero of that last game. And then here's the breach for 7T. They kind of go in confident as you like, but unfortunately for them, Hazim was ready. He started mowing down Reef, and then the rest of the team stood strong. And here was LND facing off against UN. And then we know what happened next, where KS were like, wait a minute, there's 3 down members. We can come in here and take everyone out.
Really well played from them. And then Clown and his good sort of return of fire to Mohammed there, gets the kill, and then eventually is going to be able to go on to do a lot more as he takes down the last members of 46.
I forget about this because Clown was involved in so many of these fights just solo, and then of course KS kind of has this disaster moment with the cars, but then the rest of them move over. Oh, we're safe behind that rock. Surprise! Clown's waiting behind this, and he gets a 1v3 clutch.
It's like when you pull out a gum from like a Clown package and it's just like a joke one. That's exactly what happened with that rock. And then Aras on LP doing a fantastic work here, but the grenade's going to be coming in, knocking out Koro momentarily, and then the finish will come in. Aras going to be able to find the stake of the grass.
Yeah, 9-9 really didn't have much of a chance after that one. And here's the perspective from Hama that ends up getting the kill. It was, as you said, great movements to just split out, but Clown is still the kill leader. The rest of LPI kind of come in through there, but it's mostly Hama that comes up on the kill leaderboard. Rush to Crush's Nacer actually has quite a decent bit for himself as well.
Yeah, that's actually pretty impressive. 4 kills in total for himself. Bunma on the other side going to be able to get 3 kills himself on the United side. And then we have KS going to be able to come in with 3 as well on a couple of players. And then we have sort of going in down there. LTK, I thought they'd be a little bit higher on the leaderboard on the kills, but they actually only ended it with, I think it was 5 kills in total, so it wasn't actually too surprising. I think they
Third place is not so bad, but yeah,
Yeah.
LTK, they've had some disappointing games, so this kind of like resets a bit of momentum for them. And now we're going to take a look at our head-to-head. It is AXT versus the Light Pirates, who were our 1 and 2 teams in this one. 10 kills, 7 of those on Clown alone.
Yeah.
And he's going to outclass everybody on the Light Pirates side, but hey, they were the last member standing.
Yeah, so impressive, and they still land that 32 points thanks to that. And then you just look at Rotel, not too impressive
I
here.
think he was the first one to get dropped on that team, actually.
Yeah, I think he was. And same with Iso as well. I mean, he didn't really play too well with only 45 damage and 7.8k damage, distance done. Very close to Rotel, so that's actually quite an interesting sort of comparison there. Apart from 1 kill on Rotel does come out.
Absolutely. So those were the first players to drop on their teams. Here's how we start to look things in. Clown and Eris, they ended all the way to the end, but Clown was certainly the player that you could not find yourself in the sights of.
Look at the distance traveled. It's almost double, and he's got 15k distance traveled.
I think the rest of the LPI members were going to see that on as well, because they were all over the map.
Because they landed at Gatka, and then they went down to Military
Base,
Island.
and then they had to go back up to Mansion where the circle ended. These guys took a full tour of Erangel. Here we'll see the same thing for Haman, not quite the same distance, but Demon. Of course, he was involved in one of those earlier firefights against HeadHunterrs. We can see that's where he picks up the 1 kill, also has a headshot involved. But Hama lasted all the way to the end for Light Pirates, so he gets 4 kills for himself.
Yeah, 500 damage as well, not too bad. Then we switch on over towards Lord versus Koro. And this was quite a decent comparison.
Even,
but I mean, Koro did a little bit more damage, sort of almost double of that. Pretty much double, actually. So it's actually pretty good there. Headshot coming out on Lord as well, so that's pretty good. But either way, like, 2 good teams to compare, actually, considering they ended up obviously in a 1v1 situation at the end there. Or, well, 2v1 if you really want to be correct on that side. And
AXT's Clown really put that in the position. Like,
Yeah.
he was taken out. He took out Loot 46 on his own. He took out pretty much KS on his own, because LTK did manage to get one of the members, but he got rid of all 3 of them afterwards. Such impressive performance from him. And, of course, if you want to check in on some of those specific stats and where the players and teams are all standing with the up-to-date information, you can, of course, go to our website at clubopen.pubgmobile.com for more info. It's good stuff, and looking to see where they land at the end of the day. There's still 1 more Erangel map after this.
I mean, if you want to see where LP are going to be able to land up, you need to go and do that. And if you want to see awesome plays like we just saw there, and you want to see the highlights, go and check out the YouTube.
That is youtube.com/PUBGMobile Esports. Don't forget to smash that subscription button and
Ding dong that notification bell.
boom, so you don't miss a single minute of the action. And boy, has there been a lot of it today. We've got 1 more Erangel map to go. I cannot wait, but we're going to have to take a quick break before it happens, so don't you go anywhere. More of the PUBG Mobile Club Open continues right after this.
Zombie, Darkest Night, the newest mode in the zombie universe, is here. This time, the rules are different. No more parachuting, as players will be placed at random locations on the map when the match begins, and there is no single winner. Players must work with their teammates to spend 1 long night in the match and stay alive until the sun comes up. Waves and waves of zombies will spawn during each of the 3 foggy periods at night, and supplies should only be scavenged when the fog fades. The main objective is not to defeat other players, though this doesn't mean they are harmless. Players may need to work with other teams when necessary, but should also watch their backs in case the Fragile Alliance goes south. This will be a unique experience for every player involved. This new mode also comes with a passive skill for every player. Understanding these skills will be the key to staying alive in this long night. Can you ride out the night?
Play PUBG Mobile for free.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, once again to the PUBG Mobile Club Open. I am still Devin Pyrotechnics Young, and he is still Tom Freeman Pickering.
You have to like really draw out that Tom.
It's
there,
all
don't you?
one, and the end of it's just like squashed in for sure.
You know, like just continually, like maybe for like a solid like.
Maybe
5
you'll
minutes.
get that tag on Twitter. Just, Tom.
Well, I can't get Tom and I can't get Wee Freeman because someone who's been inactive for
That's why the
6
UIT is
years.
in there.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I wouldn't have had it otherwise. I would
So if
have
you're
Wee
watching
Freeman.
right now, the person who has that tag on Twitter, just let him have it. Just let Tom have it, please.
I'm coming for
He
you.
deserves it, to be honest. Be nice. Be nice.
I'm only going to deliver them a package
Okay.
of a cake, so all nice and well. But
All right.
you know, talking about surprises and packages, let's have a look
Right.
at LP. Where have they come from?
I don't know, because they've been placing well, but we've not seen them, like, frag out for one. We've not seen them get a chicken dinner up until today, but they've gotten 2 now. And up against AXT's Clown, who was just unloading on everybody and actually clearing the way for them, we thought in a 1v2 he might actually still be favored because he's just an insane fragger. But this is what happened. LP, they do the smart thing. They split up around the side. Hama ends up getting him in his sights, taking him down, getting the chicken dinner, and here are our
standings after that 11th round, and look at how close Light Pirates are creeping up on 7 Reef Team. They could very easily pass them and get into 2nd place overall today.
Or even 1st place if they really want to get that chicken dinner.
That's
they could
true.
take the 1st place.
They would literally need a chicken dinner
points.
and 4 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, that being said, Real Deal would almost certainly take it back tomorrow because they have 4 more rounds. But can you believe that? Light Pirates had such a rocky start to this tournament, and to then turn it around basically just off of the fact that they had placement and now starting to get kills.
It's just insane. I mean, that last game, I think, was probably their highest kill game. 7 kills.
I think so, yeah.
Don't think they've been low sort of kills on the ratios to points when it comes to placements. And talk about placement points. Look at MBZ and IQM. They're sort of matching up on placement points and almost on kill points. 10 kills difference and 10 kill points. 10 points difference.
Yeah.
And MBZ are two games behind.
That's true. MBZ, they'll be playing tomorrow, of course, in their group. But IQM, this is another one of those games where we saw one of their players go out really early on. That's why we don't see as many frag scores, because it's just one man trying to survive in the wilderness. Yeah, exactly.
Apart from, unless your name's Clown.
Yeah, apparently that's not really the case. It's just everyone trying to survive against him. Now, here we go, seeing the standards as well. 46 loot after another chicken dinner, moved their way up into 17th place. And remember, these guys were, at the start of today, in 26th. They were out of the bubble. Now they are well within the bubble, and I honestly don't think anyone's going to catch them. They've tied up against Rush to crush, and I think after this next match, we'll see even more of them. It's also a team that hadn't loaded in for 2 of their matches.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're very much up there, but at the opposite side, down at the very bottom, we've got 963 and also SB, but obviously not playing today, so it's not going to change for the rest of the day. Tomorrow it will do, so we'll see what happens when that comes through, but nonetheless, really good plays from a lot of teams, and the teams we don't really expect, like 46. Look, they've managed to wipe 7T twice.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing. So 7T definitely need to start stepping it up if they want to have any chance of really contesting for those top spots. They're still going to be fine going into the playoffs, going into the semifinals. Yeah. There's really no way they get knocked out of that. And maybe you wonder, all right, they're just going to take it easy, take a break. You hate to see that, though, and I really do think they're still trying to play, but they seem to be off kilter today.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem to be favoring them. I called it that they would be doing a lot better on Erangel. Unfortunately not. They found the kryptonite.
Same old, same old.
And it didn't really work so well. But
now, we have seen, however, 7T really step it up in the past. And, of course, if you want to catch all that information and see where they've played up until this point, you can, of course, go to our website over at clubopen.pubgmobile.com. And in addition, you can also catch up on all those highlights over at our YouTube channel. That's, of course, youtube.com/PUBGMobileEsports. And, Tom, what do they got to do when they get there?
Oh, you need to make sure you go and subscribe, and you also need to make sure you
smash and ding-dong that notification bell so you don't miss a single moment of the action. I wanted to say it just for once. He gave it to me. What a nice co-caster. Thanks,
you did
Tom.
it beautifully as well. Go
Thank
and
you
give
very
him
much.
mad respect points, mad.
Mad? There's a lot of mad.
Mad.
Are you a mad lad?
Mad games, and, well, we may well see some of the AM team come in tomorrow, which is the
Air Madness. Yeah, no, they've definitely had quite a big splash as well. Looking ahead to tomorrow, there's going to be some sick games to be played as well, as it will be kind of the last march of teams B and C, or groups B and C rather, because after that, that's all. That's all you get before the semifinals, and it whittles down to 24 teams, starting to kind of move a little bit in, and we'll finally get in that 16 teams at the end that will end up leading to the regional finals. So it's a very long ride for a lot of these squads, not just in our region, but of course all the other ones. So seeing EU happen across side this, we're seeing wildcard earlier today, India as well, and then of course all the other regions in the world, South America, North America, and even ones outside that kind of PMCO banner, really, like over in China, Southeast Asia. It really is a worldwide competition in PUBG Mobile.
It's a little bit crazy out there, and there's so many regions that are going to be coming together, clashing heads for a massive prize of 2.5 million further down the road.
I can't get over that, man. It's crazy how much that is.
It makes me so happy because
a lot of support being thrown into PUBG Mobile Esports for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I'm very much a veteran of PUBG. I mean, obviously a little bit newer coming into this, and it's been awesome seeing your reaction to these sort of situations. And he's so knowledgeable. It's crazy. He's got a fantastic brain.
I've just got this guy telling me what to say all the time for sure.
Just whisper him sweet nothings at night, which are actually just the secrets of PUBG.
And now this is the gun you want to grab if you're in. This is he's going to need a crash course for sure.
It's a fantastic gun. And just go on from
pretty
there.
much.
You do love
but it comes in the package. Oh,
exactly.
Good lord.
But nonetheless, I mean, when it comes to next week, we are going to break down as to how and why people have gone through into certain groups. We have got that information. It's obviously going to be 24 teams from the group stage that go in, and then they're going to be seeded into 3 different groups. And we'll get into the details later on. But for now, we're waiting to go into the final and last game of Erangel. which is going to be a blast.
It certainly is. I don't think we've honestly had a bad round on Erangel. We've had a whole bunch of fun circles. That was really a great one as well. It ended just outside the hills of Mansion. And I think the open circles, they've definitely favored some teams where we've seen a couple of urban circles, definitely not as many. And that has seemed to favor some of our squads that are kind of middling today, like UN, for instance. They play really well within urban circles. Pachinki. Speaking of, we haven't really seen teams drop on Pachinki, even though the circles favored it a lot. 7T, they went on to Yasnaya. Nobody really contested them at first. But I am curious if that starts to change.
Yeah, I mean, Yasnaya is actually one of their original spots where they have dominated and taken over. So I think that's actually why they weren't contested over in Yasnaya in the first place. Pachinki, I'm not quite sure why. I think VW thought about it, but instead they just went for the scattergun approach of sending players all across the place.
It certainly seems to be backfiring on them, to be honest. Like, I don't really know why VW keep doing this, where they split up in like 3 or 4 different directions.
No, it's a little bit ridiculous, and it's not going to work for them. Hasn't in the last 2 games. But yeah, I mean, Pachinki, it would be interesting to see more fights there, but it's not going to happen, I don't think, this game. I think we're still going to be seeing teams go out, unless VW do decide to just clump it all into one place, go into Pachinki, and reform and do a surprise result. But I really want to see LP try and copy TLD and get a second place.
That would be crazy, because they've already, I mean, what if they got a 3rd chicken dinner at this point? We'll have to see, as we are going to be loading up onto Erangel. Here is going to be the plane path. It's actually further to the south. We might see more teams dropping on a military base this time.
Yeah, and I mean, if too many people drop down south, then it's going to cause a big bombshell sort of explosion across all the players. It might end up dying a lot earlier, and the circle could shift up north. I'd really like to see sort of a Georgeville, North Georgeville circle, because we haven't really seen one of those before, and that whole field area is really interesting to see, because there's a lot of hills, a lot of sort of bumps in the ways, but this plane is going to allow a lot of people to be able to land over towards Yasnaya, try and get over towards Verny, Kameshki, Lipovka, which is the default for UN, sorry, I think. Maybe not, but it doesn't seem like no one is going there. Maybe they didn't want to hot drop it. Some people heading over towards school. Pachinki might be in the cards for a couple as well. We should be seeing LP, the pirates, the not-so-dancing pirates, it seems, go down towards military base.
That's been what it's all about.
Yeah.
But here we see a couple of teams actually going up to contest Yasnaya, so this is starting to change a little bit. 7T are still there, but a lot of teams have kind of lost their fear for them. L&D is moving up. You see Rush to Crush coming in a couple different drop spots, and meanwhile, VW and AXT are both dropping close enough to the island, but VW are actually heading in the direction of Ferry Pier.
VW aren't all dropping there.
That's right. I forget. They don't drop together. And LP are way the heck out there right now. It looks like they're heading over for Primorsk.
Yeah, so they were, I think, originally wanted to go over towards Military Island, but they saw AXT drop out there. So
they did a big nope.
Yeah, they were like, you know what, we're going to play smart, we're going to play our usual start, and we're going to play slow. And that's exactly what they've done. And Primorsk is actually a really good spot for this circle. Allows them to be able to loot up. They're very close by, and then they can rotate up north through this sort of the side.
And there's only one VW player really standing in their way, right?
They
could head to Hospital or Gatka. Okay, 2. Even so, they still should have a numbers advantage. And at this point, we started the day saying LPI, one of the best things they can do is not die. Honestly, they're now a legitimate fragging threat.
Yeah, I mean, they've 100% secured themselves for the semifinals. There's nothing that can knock them off that front. But now their next goal is for honor, and that is to knock, I think, yeah, they can definitely get second place.
I mean, all they need to do is place higher than 7T, and they should be able to make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much secured on that front, and easy peasy for them. KS, in the meantime, have taken apartments, and I do know that they contested at UN last time. In UN this time, we're just like, no. Not even going to bother. Last 2 times we've done this, it's just not been fun.
It was a better chaos round for sure. I think they were probably a little disappointed they ended up in 4th place at the end of that because it was a bit of a wonky finish. But still one of the better performances from the crowd favorites for sure. And speaking of favorites, LPI certainly should have gained a few fans themselves after their last 3 performances.
So.
But here they are over on Primorsk. Free looting.
And they should have a couple of vehicles. There's a few good sort of spawns in this town or just outside of it where you can pick up a couple of cars as long as they spawn there. A bit of luck sort of involved, but over towards AXT, who've taken LP's spot into the actual military island, are going to be looting up these high loot areas on the military island. Meanwhile, IQM...
Yeah, they're all on their own for sure.
Yeah.
IQM, they're kind of right in the center of it. I think we talked about earlier. And this is a team that they seem to do all right, even if they lose a lot of members, but we just don't really know what their teamwork looks like outside of maybe that one round because they do tend to get dropped so fast. 3 of them anyways. At least they have a good sense that they're able to run away fast enough.
Yeah, I think the main issue for them is they don't have the right IGL and someone taking control, which means they're all very much spread across the place. And we do have a SWAT 69 here who take crates again, this time uncontested. But the team that is contested this time, due to people having no fear over them, is 7T.
Yeah, Rush to Crush here on Yasnaya on the opposite side of the road. from 7T, but it's not going to be a breach situation. There's plenty of room here for all, at least for the time being. But the circle will, when it finally closes in, be very uncomfortably close to both these teams. So I don't know if Yasnaya is going to be the place they want to stay forever.
No, definitely not. It's going to be a position you want to sort of move out from and hopefully not die in. And I think that's one of the main worries for 7T is that although they're 100% secured for the next round in the semi-finals,
it's all about placement.
Yeah, they don't want to die. They want to make sure they can actually retain and sort of get the practice in there and gain some trust. Because going into the semi-finals, they want people to know that this is their town. They don't want other people dropping in.
Ooh, hello. They're going to have to secure it up first. Control, he's getting dropped early on. Rush to Crush, he tossed a couple of nades out the window on the peak. That's Tupac as he moves down to the first floor. And you can see one of 7T's teammates going to be moving over to try and get control back up. But we just haven't seen the clutch performance out of this team today that we come to expect from them, especially on Erangel. Ooh, the headshot onto Fazza. Nasser's going to be able to finish the job. Already they're down to 3.
Yep. That is not going to be good for them, and the circle is going to be coming in, and it's going to be pushing the pressure on, but the main pressure is going to be coming in from Rush to Crush, who are crushing 7T. No real sort of indication of anything changing here, as 7T have not really done much damage. Now Nassar took a little bit, but down 1, finished another, easy peasy, and now onto 46 Loot, who have been another massive surprise.
Yeah, big chicken dinner earlier today over on Vikendi, and since then they've actually been able to place decently high, whereas previously we were always seeing them in a 10th place or worse situation. Now they will be facing down kind of a long standoff here up against TUB, who have not really been looking so good today, but we'll check back in with our LND squad. One of the teams that we saw a lot out of yesterday, we're hoping to see a little bit more today.
Yeah, up in Savannah, you're going to be uncontested. They are going to have to rotate away from this area, which is fine. Back to 17 and Rush to Crush, though. And I just want to mention, I'm fairly certain that today, 46 Loot have a higher average sort of point and sort of kills than 7T, potentially on that front across the maps.
You might be right.
Which is insane, because it's 46 Loot being the bottom team when we first started, now being sort of a higher performing today than one of the best teams.
What a lot a single day can change. VW here, together at last. We'll finally see them all in one squad. And that actually might be a little bit unfortunate for LPI, because maybe this is kind of like the long con, where they run in and they see, oh, there's one of the VW members. Ah, they're going to be alone, it's fine. They actually are splitting off, but it's a slow split.
That'd be a huge play to be able to do, but you know what? Talking about huge plays, AXT and... Oh, I thought Clown was in that team.
How do you hit that truck? It's so far out of the way. This is terrible driving. No, they're fine. There's really nobody there to contest, obviously, because they are the only ones in Military Island. Now, we will see where all the teams are concentrated. There's actually a fair amount by Georgia Pool. So maybe you get your wish here, Tom, and we see the circle kind of going up to the northwest.
Well, look at Pachinki. It's actually
It is right in the center.
Yeah, it's in the center.
And only LTK are here.
Yeah, whatever happens in the next circle, Pachinki will be in it.
Yeah, we have plenty of time before that actually happens, though, so for the moment, I feel like it's just going to be a couple of these scattered fights. Maybe we can take it easy, we can relax. It's been a high-action day, too, so, nice little cool down, just chill a little bit.
Little chill.
Just, lean back in your chair, relax, enjoy the soothing sounds of Tom Pickering.
Relax, sit back, and enjoy the soothing sounds of Mr. Devin and his amazing casting.
This is a great voiceover, but I'm slightly uncomfortable now.
A little bit too close in proximity
just
for
a
his
little
happiness. But let's have a look at school here, and maybe KS have actually learned a thing or two.
I think they have. This is a good split here from KS, and they don't have to fight with anybody for the time being. We'll also check in with UN. It looks like they're going to be kind of off in the distance as well. This is one of those teams that actually has played pretty well in urban areas. They've done well in car plays as well, but it always seems like they find themselves really caught out when they don't have any hard cover.
Yeah, I mean, when they have the hard cover, they're able to defend it. But when they don't, not so good. And let's have a look at 46 Loot. They're going to be shifting away from TUB. They don't want to have that fight. Fairly easy. I mean, they're in the circle anyway, but they don't want to contend for anything. So they're going to be going away from South George down along the coast, and they're going to be probably looping back in.
It's a nice drive, right? It's easy. You just go along the coast. You have a relaxing drive. Maybe turn on the radio. We'll take a look back over here at Yasnaya, where Rush to Crush, 4 members strong, looking for the remainder of 7T, who are holding out across the way in this apartment.
Oh, and the nade going out, and Soul Eater's going to be eating a whole load of grenade right there. Now Nasser's pushed
nice
up.
One by Control. That's going to start evening the odds a little bit here. Still, that's just a knock. Nasser's pushing in. 7T trying to bail out, and he does take a little bit of blind fire, but that should have given away his position.
Yes, they now know that there's someone outside their windows and knocking on the door. Control is now outside of the building and looking in for people around this angle. Tupac should have been able to see him, though.
Soul Eater, he's going to try to get him back up. That circle's going to change in just a minute. We will actually see where the next one will be, as LP have already started to move in over onto Ferry Pier. VW have gone a little further to north. And look at that. Georgia Pool still in play. So Rush to Crush and 7T are going to have to make tracks over to school.
Yeah, now at the moment we're going to have HeadHunterrs sort of combining sort of forces potentially with another team, which is right next to them, can't quite see, but SWAT 69 are going to be able to get a free package,
they get a
full
gift.
level 3 and that AUG, which is pretty much an upgraded version of the M4 with a different spray. Some people like it, some people hate it, a little
Rose
bit
are
like
clearly one of the
Marmite.
people in the former categories. I think it's probably a little bit more universally liked than a Marmite, but, you know, we'll see. Man, I just got back from Australia, man. They have the stronger stuff there. It's called Vegemite. Oh, boy.
No, thank you. But talking about stronger stuff, NASA is looking to push in through. He is stronger here. Hit shots.
Oh, they had no idea he was
Look at
coming
his
around the
HP.
side. Control just gets knocked immediately.
Don't peek. You have 1 HP, NASA.
Yeah, let your teammates do it. You got 2 of them right there, and they're full health.
He's blocking them. Okay, there we go.
3 teammates. There we go. There's going to be the breach up, and it looks like he is completely outnumbered right now. 7T, are they going to fall right here, right now? Not just yet, because it looks like they were staying alive for a little bit. Soul Eater going to get headshot there, and Reef is turned it all around. How the heck did he do that?
How is he just... He's just 1v3'd them.
They needed that. 7T 100% needed that, because not only do they get the frags, they stay alive in the race for second place.
That is the beauty of the TP. That is the second time we've seen a 1v3 situation. Let's have a look at the replay here. Really impressive plays coming in here from Reef, their star player. Takes down 1. Look, turns around with his gun. Sprays down another 2. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy for the star player from 7T.
Yeah, I should have known if Reef was the last one standing that things are still on the table, so that's a little bit more of that 7T magic. They stay alive here, and they knock Rush to Crush out in the last place position.
My heart can't take that.
I thought that was a foregone conclusion, man. What a turnaround
He had 25 HP, and he still took down 3 players. I think that says a bit more about Rush to Crush.
Yeah, they have done that before. They have heedlessly breached in and managed to lose all of their lives.
I mean, we saw one of the players there, I think it might have been Rush, just blocking one of the others with 1 HP. He was peeking as if he wanted to push in, which just shows his ignorance on that part, where he has to be a little bit more careful. But IQM rather, do see AXT pushing in. Maybe they'll take a couple of shots.
They might do. They've got a really good spot here, but AXT are a very terrifying team to tangle with. And the Dancing Pirates are back, baby.
I love you.
This is why we call them that. It's not just Vikendi where they decide to strut their stuff.
You know what? They took a little bit more seriously.
Oh, they all just sat down at the same time.
Yes, gotta get it in there. The Dancing Pirates.
That's definitely making the highlight reel. Now, AXT are posted up in this one compound, but Mustafa's got his sights trained on him. Good shot onto Lord. You've got to be kidding me. What a great down out the sights.
That is a fantastic shot coming in. Mustafa doing a brilliant job there to try and help his team out, being able to try and take on AXT, a team they definitely want to lock out of this one because they are contending for this. I mean, AXT are all the way up there, but let's return to the Dancing Pirates.
They're still going.
Absolutely beautiful. One of my favorite teams here. The memers themselves.
But they're not just memers. They're memers who know how to play, too.
You know,
I love it.
You know how they, you notice how they haven't actually danced throughout all the whole games? They're like, right, concentration phase. And now they're there. They're like, we don't care.
Yeah, they don't have to.
We're just going to dance it away.
Oh, TUB. They're going to lose their members. That's going to be out in 13th place. And unfortunately, that just continues the trend they've had of really falling a little bit behind in today's game. So we are down to 12 teams. And this is the thing. LPI know. They should have seen the kill feeds as well. That 7T are going to be weakened here. Which means they have a pretty good shot at overtaking them.
Yeah, and I mean, talking about weak, they are definitely weak right now because they're not even inside the next circle and they are low on HP.
They found Rozhawk. Yeah. Fortunately, it's unoccupied, but you're right. They're going to have to move pretty quickly. I hope there's plenty of gas in that Jeep.
This circle is going to be interesting. I imagine it will land quite central here, potentially closer to the hillside to the right of a VW, which is actually a really interesting place for it to be able to land. We are going to be seeing a lot of teams have to rotate in here. We do have sort of a Gatka in the mix
AXT.
as well.
Yeah, AXT just drove right on through. IQM weren't even seeing that. Guys, please. What are you doing?
They're patting each other. Luckily, fan-friendly fire is off in the rules.
I like how the indication is still there, so it looks very bloody, but it's just a little good-natured melee fun.
They're just strengthening each other up. You know, it's Fight Club. And we don't talk about it.
No, yeah. Well, yeah, we don't talk about it for sure. We don't talk about this either.
Sorry.
What the heck are SWAT 69 doing? They've got cars on the roof. This game's gone off the rails.
What is going on? Everyone's losing their mind here. A few of these teams won't play again until the semifinals, so they're just having a bit of a laugh, bit of a banter, as we would say in the UK. But LTK, they've got a lot of work to do. They can't really chill out yet, but...
All right, looks like the frying pan battle is over, so LPI are going to go ahead and take a drive through. Yeah, they're actually going the long side around, and they're just kind of taking pot shots at each other. Once again, like you said, friendly fire's off.
That is so brilliant. Oh, they're not taking
fire down. Hello.
It's actually someone shooting at them.
Yeah, it's all fun and games until somebody starts taking heavy fire here. It looks like KS are going to be moving into IQM's territory.
It's all fun and games until someone, takes shots at you. Usually the way, but KS, in the meantime, are going to be inside the circle near Chopsticks. That's what that location's names are, explaining later on. But HH, a.k.a. HeadHunterrs, are going to be in a decent position here on the very edge. In the next circle, they will be cut out.
For the first time in a couple of rounds, too. And that's going to be good for them because HeadHunterrs definitely need to be able to pick up a few more points. Here's AXT, though, finding a little bit of an unoccupied house for themselves. Still 3 members strong. Now remember, this is a team that dropped all the way down onto military base and had to go pretty far to the north to sort of recorrect it. So we're going to see a lot of distance covered by them. But remember that hero play last time for Clown. And there's going to be a big firefight. SWAT 69 finding KS, and it's going to be Ari that gets Moha down first.
Really nice shot there coming in, and they will be able to recover him if they decide to go for it. But Rain, Dabai going to be the closest members, probably going to opt in to wait to do that. Dabai chucked out a smoke. He's now going to be pushing up.
We're seeing KS really come into their own in the last couple of rounds. Finally, we wanted to see a little bit more out of these guys. Always a decently rounded team, but can they win a big firefight here just to the east of Gatka? And they will be within the next circle as the rest of the teams start to close in.
Yeah, and they've got the circle on top of them here, so they should be fairly fine on that front. I mean, KS are on the disadvantage once again in this next circle, but the AWM is here next to VW.
Oh no, Koro and Eris are going to get dropped. LTK, they saw LP behind them as they tried to wrap around, and all of a sudden, the Light Pirates are losing members.
Such a shame for them. The memers themselves are going to suffer because they were not taking it serious enough, and they might get dropped here.
Hama's down on his knees again. LTK, they're finding shots. Very important for them to pick up as many frags as they can, but they don't see Issa right now, so they know they don't have everybody down.
Yeah, Issa is inside the circle here as well. He is going to have to try and play a little bit of it like a snake.
He's very far away, though, so this is going to be rough because you can see one of the members of LTK is going up to try and finish the job. Meanwhile, AXT find the AWM. It's going to be Lord that just chucks down smoke to be able to loot it out, and Aris is going to get finished off by Red Bull. Meanwhile, Lord actually gets knocked, so that was dangerous. No, he doesn't. Looked like he did, but in the smoke, he managed to get himself back into the vehicle.
Yeah, so he's going to be driving away here. VW not going to have very strong shots here. So that's going to be a full level 3 plus the AWM and a suppressor for his AR to boot. And now LP.
Dear.
Oh, no.
That's the nade. Red Bull taking the Light Pirates out in 12th place. Well, they may not be able to meet the record of TRD, but 2 chicken dinners and a second place finish, not too bad.
Oh, and now we're going to be seeing 46 Luke defending their strong position. AXT trying to take them on.
This is going to be tough right now. Let's see who can take it. Clown's already down on his knees right now, and the rest of 46, they have the number advantage. Can they take the fight? They can finish off Rodel pretty easily, but Lord, yeah, that's going to be it.
And now there's only Lord to contend with this, and that really is not much. I mean, he has got level 3 on the AWM, but they know where he is, so they're going to be taking shots. There's a vehicle there. A single grenade could spell the end for AXT's reign here. Might well just be the case. He's trying to chuck out a couple of smokes. Potentially should have chucked them in the opposite place if they went to the different wrong location.
Yeah, so the adrenaline shot gets taken right now. He's got the smoke down already. But 46 are just unloading in his general direction, hoping they can grab the shots in on him. Lord already down to half his health, and you've got to think this is where 46 Luke can show that they've been a much stronger team today. Meanwhile, from behind, not the only team that Lord's going to have to contest with. HeadHunterrs coming in, and they should easily be able to clean him up. They park right next door, and then they can finish off Lord, but he's trying to hide in the grass, but not for long. Still staying there. It looks like that's going to be it out in 10th place.
They do manage to find him to get the frag on him, but the grenades are now going to be coming in from 46 Loot, who have been doing a fantastic job here. They don't find the final kill on AXT as it's stolen away. Julius is going to get picked up, and it's going to be leaving an interesting situation. 46 Loot in the opportunity to be able to actually kill these guys.
Yeah, HeadHunterrs could be in some trouble, but there's a lot of smoke thrown down for cover right now, so everyone really keen on grabbing one of these last houses here by Gatka.
Yeah, and there's a lot of area for people to play in. There's a lot of bushes and also a bit of snaking to do. IQ and Mustafa looks like he's a bit AFK here, but he's probably not. He did take a fantastic shot earlier.
Oh, no, just a little bit slow there.
Magic feet.
I thought he had mastered the art of moving so slowly that his movements were undetectable.
Oh, good reference. So grenades are going to be coming out from 46. They have the position here. Like you said, they've got the hard cover. But we have got the snakes of HeadHunterrs trying to find their way in, but they're so grouped together.
Yeah, meanwhile, off screen, you can see a couple of members still exchanging some fire here. HeadHunterrs have to be careful as that circle is right up against their backs, but they'll have some time to play with, and the rest of the teams are going to have to go to this south side of Gatka to try and come up here. 46 Loot still holding on to their house, but LND now coming in to spoil the party. Dr. Savage stepping up. Looking for those shots, doesn't find movement, not enough anyways. Oh, it looks like they're back into the buggies. They're going to get out of here.
Yeah, Nightmare's like, I'm out, guys.
Bye-bye. And the Babe's like, wait for me. They've got 4 buggies.
Yeah, and the thing is, moving fast like this is fantastic because this next circle is going to be brutal. And Hazam's like screaming, get back here.
Yeah, they wanted to take them, but they are just going to leave them to their own house because unfortunately that one's not within the next circle, so the teams will quickly try to rotate into it. It looks like L&D have already managed to get into the center of it, as we see on the minimap.
Yeah,
Babe is actually still holding this position.
I hope he actually carries on because he could have a fantastic job there and being able to take out those guys. But meanwhile, 70 is snaking through the ground closer to LTK.
I'd like to say this is their best performance today, but unfortunately,
It's not.
I think they actually got into, what was it, 7th place at one point, so because there's still 10 teams alive. Meanwhile, IQM are going to be bringing a couple of friends into the party here for VW. They do have Dragon and SMGM still hanging out in this house in different parts of it if they go for the breach here. Control gets knocked by Red Bull and put in the ground. Meanwhile, the breach comes in for the IQM members, and they do manage to take Dragon out.
Yes, the 17 now only have one person at the left standing because they picked a fight with LTK, but in the meantime,
VW lose everybody.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing fights all over the place.
Oh, look at this. KS have actually managed to post up inside the canals here. Or the trenches, rather.
Yeah, so just so you know, because they look like chopsticks on the map.
That's why you call them that.
That's why they're called
Thank you. I
chopsticks.
knew that explanation would come sooner or later.
There you go. Boom! Knowledge. But UN, in the meantime, going to be trying to get this rotation.
70 are out.
Oh, no.
They dropped into 10th place. So out of this one, but they still might be able to maintain their positional advantage over Light Pirates just because of how far placed they were, but they will not feature in this remaining one. 46, Zico is going to be able to get the down onto Hunter from UN as they post up behind. And it looks like they're going to get taken out there. Hazim and Zico combo up and even throw in the nade for good measure.
And look at this, LTK going to be able to look right down to it now and should be able to get decent damage, but I think that's a grenade.
It's coming in. You got to move out of there. LTK, they're not going to take too much damage, but the Molotov does come in. SWAT 69 facing off against the LTK members, and another one's going to come in right on top of them. IQM starting to lose members left, right, and center, and this is going to be a spicy finish, I think, Tom.
Oh, that grenade is fantastic.
Ray's down.
Delivered right to Ray, and unfortunately, he's not Ray Donovan, so he's going to get knocked down here and potentially finished off by this grenade. Doesn't quite happen, but
Blue's coming in.
It did.
Red Bull going to be chucking one through the smoke. And they're going to try to take a forward position with Rosa Dabai waiting in the wings here. Dr. Savage going to get knocked on HeadHunter's side. Just across the way, these 3 members remaining a little low health. And it looks like they're going to have to crawl for it. Lots of smoke, but they're running out of room.
Oh, what a play coming in from Groza.
He gets 2.
It was actually all 3 of them there at the end there. He wipes them out, and that's going to be them out for the count.
Out in 8th place, yeah. Nicely played there by Groza. So it clearly is, not just a couple of members of SWAT 69 that can step up and play when it counts. KS still sitting here on this other side of Chopsticks, whereas SWAT 69 are on the opposite. SMGM from VW is still up, so VW is actually not out of this one just yet.
VW trying to stay relevant here, but unfortunately, a lot like their parent company, they may well be out of luck here with some kind of gas. Anyway, going to go away from that before I get in trouble. KS, in the meantime, going to be chucking a couple of grenades in, and they're going to have to do a lot of work here to get inside the circle.
They still have 4 members healthy, though, so that's a nice thing. HeadHunterrs, I don't think we can see it quite the same for them because it looks like the Babe is going to be a little bit low on that health bar, but Nightmare and Julius are going to be still involved in this one, and IQM down to 2 members themselves, but holding up in a good position. L&D going to be moving in. I don't really know who's going to take this one. Zico going to open fire here, and that's 9 kills for the 46 Loot Squad. They really are showing up today.
I think they could honestly make it within the top 7 here.
Nightmare getting the down onto Mustafa, and now it is only going to be Wolf. The last man to try and hang out here. Good use of cover by Nightmare, and Wolf nearly getting dropped down. It's even on the health bars. The rest of L&D coming into the picture as well. And meanwhile, into the breach they go, but it looks like KS are going to lose out on that one. And now it turns around as the last 2 members of SWAT 69 find themselves eliminated by KS.
And 46 Luke going to be down to one of the members of KS as he pushes into that pit.
SMGM is managing to get Faker down, though.
and all of a sudden these fights keep on happening. It's going to be 4 teams remaining, 12 players up.
Oh.
Drugs and Needle trading fire onto the 46 Loot members, but they have the best position here, and they could be in for a double chicken dinner tonight.
One shot. Is he going to be able to land at any moment?
There we go.
There we go. Zico going to be able to get another drop down there. They're on 10 kills in total so far. Going to be another couple here. Drugs going to be able to get up Needle.
How did
perfect
IQM
pairing.
come back up on top of this one?
They managed to kill the HeadHunterr player, so that's going to be HeadHunterrs out of the game.
In 5th place, yeah. Good playing by the last remaining IQM members. KS still having 2. They did manage to get some of their health back. So we are down to 4 teams. It is 46 Loot, it is LND, it is KS, and the last 2 members remaining of IQM. It looks like LND's Riot is going to get taken out of the picture, though. Zico put in work, so that's the 10 kill mark crested by 46 Loot.
Yeah, that's 11 kills in total. That's really impressive by them, and they have every advantage to play with now. They have the circle, they have the play count, and we'll see in a moment if they will have the following circle as well. And I mean, IQM are going to be the problem for LND, the thorn in the foot, as it were. But this next circle is going to drop in a couple of seconds
Wolf
here.
and Mustafa have to move. They know it.
Circle now going to be landed in, and it favors LND. So
You've got to be kidding me.
46 have to prove their
Look at
worth
this.
more.
KS, they can actually still sit here in chopsticks. Just for a moment.
Yeah, they can get up as well, thanks to these slopes.
Uh-oh. 46 Loot. Have them in their sights here. They got a Molotov out, but that's just going to force a Loosh back.
They have to kill them.
They have to. Only way to do it. Kraken goes forward, followed by the rest of the team, and they're going to get mowed down immediately. Ahmed doesn't go through. This might be the end for KS.
And last player left, Ahmed, trying to peek up here, but it might just be the end. Alush is peeking through this window. He's got perfect hit. Look at this. IQM knocks down Needle, and
Mustafa comes in. He does get Needle down, but Drugs was there to be able to knock him away. Oh boy, and KS just might want to play safe for positioning. Still 4 teams remaining, but not too many left. And here comes Wolf.
and
Meanwhile,
vehicle from 46.
look at what Ahmed's doing. He's actually managed to get in.
So impressive, and we're going to be seeing 46 try to push in as well, and they're going to do a successful job. They're now going to be looking to go in for the breach, but do they know there's a team here?
Round right now. If they can take it out to the only 4-man squad remaining, and they go in for the breach, they're going to knock down Drugs. Needle's going to get moving, but I don't think it's going to be enough here. Wolf crawling around the side. Hazim doesn't actually see him.
Oh, IQM. He's been spotted by Hazam. They know each other. They're there. He's going to peek out the corner. He gets the kill.
Down to 2 teams. It is going to be all on 46 Loot and the last remaining member of KS. And this is another one of those situations. 4v1. I think we're in for a double chicken dinner situation here, Tom. Ahmed's going to open fire. Looks for Zico, but he's giving away his position now.
This is so unfortunate for KS, but you know what? One of the fan favorite teams might be able to get another kill here.
That's going to be it, though. Drops down at the end of the day, and it will be another chicken dinner. They did it on Vikendi, and they come back again to do it on Erangel.
They just got one of the highest kill games in the whole of the group stage so far. That's so impressive. 17 kills.
You have got to be kidding me.
And a wins. They get 2 wins so far.
That's almost like, I think, the record that SWAT69 was able to set on Miramar last week. What an incredible performance out of them. KS, you know, kind of find themselves in a much less kill-oriented situation, but still get a 2nd place. Crowd favorites coming up big there at the end. IQM lasted out into 3rd place. Good job by that team. And that's going to be it for this group's A and D, so we'll tally the points up. But there were so many surprises, so many big plays. 70 dropped early again, but so did the Light Pirates.
It's been one of the best games so far to actually commentate on because there was so much action and, the games today have been so full of action and so great to cast.
Well, that was incredible stuff. I mean, really, the action just kind of kept going.
Yeah.
And it was a great central circle for sure. It started moving over to Groza. But a lot of good wraparounds from teams. AXT kind of getting into the military island base early on. Then they moved back up to the north. Lost a couple of members along the way. Man, that was just... But we had everything in that game. We also had the Dancing Pirates return. Unfortunately, they couldn't last out long enough. But honestly, I think they deserved a rest. That was a fantastic set of games today. But here are the highlights from this 4th and final map on Erangel. It all started with Nasser moving up in here. And I cannot believe 17 managed to clutch this. Never count out Reef.
What a fantastic return coming in right here. You can see him with his AK, drops down a couple of players, switches over towards DP, 47 bullets in it, and just sprays and sprays, and it works in his favor. And here you go, LP. If you are here and listening, contact me. I want to speak to you guys. I want to tell you a story.
Look at that choreography.
The memers. And, oh, look at this shot.
Mustafa One shot, one down onto Lord. AXT did not find they had the easiest way into the circle. Here's where LP decided to have a little bit more fun. Luckily, friendly fire turned off for this tournament, so they didn't have to worry about it. And then, of course, Red Bull finding out Hama. This is where things started to get dicey for the Light Pirates because they didn't expect LTK to turn on them.
Yeah, and I mean, really well played by LTK in that situation. But you know what? 46 loot, even better performance, down in these players one after another.
Yeah, AXT thought they had this dead to rights. Lord was going to be the last man standing, but unfortunately, HeadHunterrs came in to just completely ruin his day. Wasn't much you could do after that. And here's where Groza just lights up the LTK members, utilizing this tiny bit of cover and chopsticks to his advantage.
Yeah, and also a fantastic grenade which knocked out Slom and helped him finish them off. And then we have 46 loot just spraying through the smoke, being able to knock down Right as he was trying to return across. And
I mean, they earned this chicken dinner 100% of the way. They didn't just let other teams come to them. We watched on Vikendi. It kind of was a tense moment where we thought maybe AXT could take them down, and they hadn't gotten quite so many kills. But this time, they were the ones controlling their own destiny 100% of the way. Finally, IQM get a little bit antsy, try to push in. But it's still going to be 46 loot to clean everything up. At the end of the day, Ahmed, last member from Chaos, tried to make it happen. Didn't get a kill after that. But all the same, look at this. Zico from 46 loot with 9 freaking kills.
I mean, you got to give it to him. A mad progression here throughout this whole group stage. They were at the bottom at the start of today, and now they're going to be in the very top.
Started from the bottom, they will definitely be a lot further up.
I mean, where do you reckon they're going to be?
They were 11th after that, but after the last match. I think this breaks them into top 10 easily.
They just got 47 points in that one game.
Yeah, has to be.
It has to push them right up there.
Now, there is still going to be a chance, of course, for groups B and C to really contest it and you know, push some of them out of that. But I think at this point, it's all about padding yourself into the safety zone because you only have to be top 24. They were well within it after that last round because they started in 26th place.
Oh my God.
We will compare 46 loot to LTK. This is the first versus 8th place team. LTK, you know, got fired on by SWAT 69, but look at the difference in kills alone. Look at the difference in damage. That's insane.
I think that's probably the second highest amount of damage we've seen in total.
Yeah, and it lines up with the kills. That's the craziest part. 'Cause sometimes people just clean up kills, they steal them away. Not this 46 loot squad.
That's actually higher damage than I think that SWAT 69 got. But nonetheless, look at this. 841 damage coming out from Hazem and 5 kills versus that of Slom, who got 0 kills and only 80 damage.
Slom got dropped there at the end, too, but he just wasn't able to get nearly as much done comparatively. But 46 loot, they had the house, they had the advantage, they had all of the plays.
Yeah. And then you look at this comparable, which is actually fairly similar as well, but unfortunately it seems like Moon wasn't able to get the finish on one of his players, whereas the other player was on LTK, who managed to pick up 2 kills.
Yeah, Mojram did all right for sure. I think he's been one of the more standout players when we do look at this LTK squad in continuity, but a player that had a much better performance today was Red Bull, and I think it was because he was the one to first turn on to the Light Pirates, whereas Alush, you know, middling performance for his team, but this one was all about Red Bull, and I think he really stepped up to the plate today.
Yeah, really well played from them. And I mean, if you look at the damage there, it was like almost triple the damage.
This is the opposite, of course, right? Zico, he was the major carry. He was the big threat. He was being able to fire down just about everybody. 3 headshots, 9 kills, 1,400 plus damage. Not only that, he was moving across the map pretty quickly.
I mean, he did enough damage to kill 14 people alone just by himself, which is insane, which just goes to show that he got multiple knocks as well, and also multiple headshots and 9 kills.
I would love to see if we track knocks, how many he would actually be able to pick up, but that's you know, that's kind of a story for another day. But Zico, definitely the hero player for 46 loot. He had a big stand-up performance on the Vikendi match as well. But this is where they finally, it feels like that last chicken dinner, it didn't fall into their laps. It was definitely something they had to fight for, but this one feels like they got it from start to finish. They planned it, they set the tablecloth. When the chicken dropped in, they just devoured it.
Yeah, I mean, they had circle advantage, but when they didn't, they made it work for them. It wasn't the fact that they were handed each
good
circle.
rotations.
They had good rotations. I mean, it started off, they got into Gatka, where they had to rotate into in the first place, and then when it went and moved away from them, they rotated, fought, got the place, and then they did it again in that final circle where they just charged in and killed everyone.
And they were also able to hold on to houses consistently. Like we saw what happened when HeadHunterrs tried to knock them down and out of it, and then they just ended up chasing them away. But that was going to be it for that final map 4. Now, of course, if you missed any of today's action or any of the games previously and want to see what happened, including news and up-to-date standings, you can go ahead and check out our website at clubopen.pubgmobile.com. And, of course, in addition, Tom, where can they find everything live, including the highlights?
Well, I mean, if you want to go find it, you can go find it on the YouTube.
Yeah, the YouTube channel is, of course, youtube.com/PUBGMobileEsports, so don't forget to smash that subscription button. And
Ding dong that notification bell.
And make a ringtone out of that, somebody, please. Just to make sure you don't miss any minute of the action. Now, that is going to do it for us today. We have one more day of the group stages left, and it's going to be a big one, man. Groups B and C. I think TRD definitely have something to say about that one, but that is just a little preview. On that note, we are going to end it here today. Thank you so much for watching on behalf of myself, Pyrotechnics, and, of course, Tom, Freeman Pickering, and the entire broadcast team. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you tomorrow, 8 p.m. Central European Summertime.
See you then.
Zombie, Darkest Night, the newest mode in the zombie universe, is here. This time, the rules are different. No more parachuting, as players will be placed at random locations on the map when the match begins, and there is no single winner. Players must work with their teammates to spend one long night in the match and stay alive until the sun comes up. Waves and waves of zombies will spawn during each of the 3 foggy periods at night, and supplies should only be scavenged when the fog fades. The main objective is not to defeat other players, though this doesn't mean they are harmless. Players may need to work with other teams when necessary, but should also watch their backs in case the Fragile Alliance goes south. This will be a unique experience for every player involved. This new mode also comes with a passive skill for every player. Understanding these skills will be the key to staying alive in this long night. Can you ride out the night?
PUBG Mobile for free.